Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. Yes. So I think we haven't been live since last week, Wednesday. So little explanation for y'all. Normally we'd be on Sunday, but the majority of fans are men. So we wanted to let the men enjoy Father's Day. So for all of y'all that we didn't get to, happy Father's Day. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope it was great for you. I hope you got some of the respect that you deserve for the work that you put in, but we know that doesn't really happen like that. Y'all laughing, but I have this thing, right? Real talk. I'm gonna digress for a quick second. I always say, just look at the disparity between Mother's Day and Father's Day, bro.
Big difference.
Yo, people will sell crack for Mother's Day. Father's Day, it'd be some straight BS, right?
Or organs going on the garage sale. I'm telling you.
Right. but here goes the illest thing, though, right? You look at Father's Day and the gifts. It occurred to me this year as I'm out there on Father's Day morning, power washing the driveway. The gifts on Father's Day are all like get to work type gifts, right?
Exactly.
Like, get a new grill, get out there and grill us some meat. You know what I'm saying? Like you get some tools so you can
we're gonna get stuff more together. Work, sir.
Correct.
Absolutely. I was man. Shout out to my boy Quentin Beasley and his wife. They put on a fabulous dinner for us, Lexi.
That's awesome.
So 2 years ago, she bought him a griddle, like the little black tops, right?
Yeah.
And for Father's Day, it was supposed to be catered to, cooking for him. And come over, and she was cooking. She was on it. That eventually the spatula was in his hand. I'm like, what's so much for
the meal?
And like me mentally, I'm like,
that's Father's Day.
Like it's Father's Day, but yeah, you're gonna be doing some work, bro.
Yeah, there's a part of dads that want nothing more than to save the day. You know what I mean? We're okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No doubt.
Shout out to the Beasleys, though, man. Shout out to the Beasleys.
Shout out to the Beasleys. So we didn't do the Father's Day episode. Then we were supposed to do we were going to do a live show for Game 5 last night, which we'll recap shortly in our first topic. But
I was looking for that, though.
Yeah, we got our signals crossed last night, so apologies for that.
More so on me, guys. I'll take the bullet.
Nah, that's my fault.
He texted me. He hit me up so early in the day. I was so crazy busy. I saw the message and I responded out loud to myself, saying, "Bet we're gonna do it." So I get on. The game was on at 8:30. I log on about 8:15, and I'm sitting here like a dummy, just waiting on him. I'm like, okay, well, where's Bruce? Oh, Bruce not here. All right, cool. Call him. Like, all right, no answer. I mean, he may be getting the overlays and stuff done. 8:18, 8:19 roll around. I'm like, call him. Bruce was out cold. He was like, hey man, you didn't respond, so I thought he wasn't gonna do it. Yeah, so that's on me, guys. That's on me. That's why I'll take the blame for that one.
Yeah, we got our wires crossed. It's all good though. We're here and we're gonna give you guys 4 topics tonight, and of course a quick hit. So as you can see, joining us tonight is the host of the SMT Media Network podcast, and of course a regular viewer and caller to the show, Sneed. What's good, Sneed?
Man, it is an honor and pleasure to be here with you guys. Thank you for the invite. I'm just happy to be, bro. I'm just happy to be.
Well, we appreciate you being here, man.
Shout out to the SMT Media Network channel, man. Sneed has a slogan that he didn't know that he had. Sneed got what you need. All right. If you have any technological,
that's right,
like information that you need, satellite dishes, cell phone, cellular services, all types of stuff, man. Go on his page. I was up till like midnight one night, just going through like, oh, AT&T got this going on because I got AT&T. I'm like, oh, what Verizon got going on? Oh man, what Sprint got going on? Oh, it's so much information. Very knowledgeable guy. Sneed got what you need. SMT Media Network, man. That man is good. He's awesome.
And you should never be able to not get in contact with Sneed because he got about 14 phones.
You just throw that in there, bro.
4 different services too. They all different.
Right.
He's trying them all out. So he's truly in the field. Testing
I just cut one of the lines, bro. I had to. We got to make savings somewhere. You got to cut the expenses, bro.
No doubt. But Sneed is going to join us tonight, as you can see, man. And we're going to talk some sports, and this is what we do here at the Format Podcast. But before we get started, man, y'all know what time it is. We do the spiel, and then we're gonna get it rolling. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast. We should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us a like, leave us a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the content we're delivering you, make sure you hit that join button. There's going to be exclusive content here just for you. All right. Before we get started, one last thing. Let me give a shout out to the channel members. Of course, Laker Nation, number one member of the channel. Appreciate you. Host of the Be Ready Sports Podcast. And in order to be ready, you got to stay ready. Make sure you check that out. Stay ready. Make sure you all check that out. Hit that like and subscribe. Great show that he's got going, really highlighting the young athletes that hopefully we'll be talking about here one day. Also, Chief Sid Bubba, what's going on, Chief? Shout out to you. Shout out to the boys from Annapolis.
Anchors away, my boy. Anchors away. Oh, I'm cool.
Okay.
So it's custom at this point.
Man, more months for this, but that's okay. It's okay. Shout out my main man. It's not that serious. What's up? It's not that serious. Good to see you in the chat. And of course, shout out Bruce, Baltimore repping all day, every day. What up, Bruce? What's going on, man? Good to see you. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So we only have one quick hit tonight.
Two.
And maybe
two small one. So 1.5.
Okay.
1.5. Something for you in Baritone. I mean, for you in Baltimore. So yeah.
Oh, here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and drop mine real quick. And this is just a prelude to something else. Really, that's what I'm gonna give my first quick hit. I'm gonna give my quick hit, the first of two, and it'll be a prelude to a longer topic we'll discuss tomorrow. And that is the latest episode of Mind the Game podcast. I know my guy Sneed talked about this, and of course, is the never-ending foolishness coming from LeBron James, the never-ending need to try and denigrate the previous generations in order to prop himself up. And I'll just say, he was on there and he was saying how he feels like the focus on rings in the NBA in terms of evaluating where a player stands all time is weird. He said that. I didn't say it. He said it's weird. And I found that absurd, especially coming from the same guy who, after he won in 2016, said, well, that one there made me the greatest of all time. So I'll leave it right there. But that's all I have to say about it right now. It's a quick hit, but you can be sure that we're going to delve into that in depth tomorrow. I
want you to clear up on your journalism skills before you come on this show and talk about that subject, because boy, I'm about to chop that up real good. All right, but no, man, something for you in Baltimore, Bruce, man.
Yes.
Your boy Lamar Jackson is trying to get Jair Alexander over there.
I saw that
in Baltimore. The Ravens. You know, I gotta talk some football somehow, guys. Bear with me. All right, bear with me. It's small, but Jair Alexander, a corner in Baltimore. Could that happen? He might only play 6 games, but will he play the 6 that matter?
Wow.
Will he play the 6 that matter?
Yikes.
Right? Hopefully you get hurt at the beginning of the season and we can see you at the end of the season and hopefully make a playoff push, man. So shout out to Baltimore, Bruce, and hopefully, man, I want to see the Ravens succeed. I do want to see Lamar get a chip.
I ain't trying to see that, bro.
And my bad.
Oh man,
listen here. My bad. I forgot you was here. Sneed. My apologies, brother. My apologies.
I ain't trying to see none of that.
I sincerely forgot. Cleveland, my bad, bro. My bad.
Yeah, I forgot. Rival AFC North guy. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
I'm shutting up. I'm putting myself on mute.
I don't like that, Sneed. That's what we do, man. You come in here, you come in our house, and you grind your feet in the couch.
I'm
James.
Drink up couch, bro.
Like we didn't offer him a drink. He just walked in the refrigerator. Was like, yeah,
right,
bro. Yeah, but it's like an embarrassment of riches. Like, how much do you need on that team?
True.
Like, how much more can you get?
How?
They got a lot. There's
Honestly,
a lot there.
Honestly, all it's going to come down to is Lamar playing to the level he's capable of in the postseason.
At the right time.
Yeah. That's all.
That's all. That's it. That's all it is. Right.
Because if he can do that, then smooth sailing. Agreed.
Is it going to be? I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you. And shout out to man Angel Reese, man. MVP season loading.
Yes.
Right.
I was going to mention that.
Hey, had a great game. Last couple of games, had a great game. 30 burger, and one of them that she dropped a triple double. Granted, not super efficient, but you know what I mean. It's a triple dub no matter what, man. She had.
Is that her first career triple double? I believe
her first career triple double.
Yeah.
She probably has a bunch that are really close. Like her averages.
Yeah, because she's not really a facilitator so much. I mean, where she plays, but she has an absurd amount of double doubles.
Yes.
Well, if she was dishing the rock, you'd be like, "Why are you giving up the ball? You're 4 feet away from the rim." You know
right.
What I mean?
Right.
I would if I'm shooting 20-something% from the field, but like my shot ain't falling. Just get somebody else involved, man.
Yeah, facts.
But I agree with you, Sneed. Like, hey, you 4 feet from the rim, put it up. What are you doing?
Woodage, we got you. We're gonna get to that CC piece, man. Just be patient. That's coming. But no, I definitely think so. Steve, you're a funny dude, man. Me and Steve, we go at it, man. You know what, Steve? I do have to talk to you about the Notre Dame football piece. That's right. All right, but let's
that was
get
a good episode, by the way, when he was on talking Notre Dame.
Go Irish. Yeah, that was really good, man. I had a great time with that. Steve, he killed that. All right, let's go. Let's get to let's talk about game 5 of the NBA Finals. And we know, 70-something% of the time when a series is tied 2-2, the winner of game 5 goes on to win that series in the postseason, right? And so we saw Oklahoma City. I thought they were going to blow them out. From what I saw, I thought they were going to blow them out. But the Pacers made a tremendous run in that fourth quarter, I think. Cut it all the way back to 2 before Oklahoma City kind of clamped down again and ended up taking that game. So I'm gonna start out with our guest hit, right? One of the best defensive teams we've seen in quite some time. I'm gonna start out with our guest here, Sneed, man. What are your thoughts on that game 5 last night?
The first thing I thought to myself was, how the hell are the Pacers in this game? Yeah. And Haliburton has 0 field goals made.
Crazy.
You know, and to start the game, to start the game with all the turnovers, they were up already to like 20-something turnovers to start the fourth quarter. I'm like, how do they find a way to do this? I think it's a credit to the instantaneous nature of their defense, how it can activate. You give them 3 minutes, they will erase a lead. Yeah. Right. It's incredible. It's like the NBA, it can happen because teams will get cold. Defenses will start to lock in. Refs will swallow their whistles. And then all of a sudden, you know, a 10-point lead is now 2 points in like a couple of minutes. I want to give a lot of credit to J-Dub. He was absolutely incredible. He is an excellent scorer. Excellent score. Like, I know there's a better tier, right? There's a higher tier than excellent, right? But he is excellent at scoring the basketball. And Alex Caruso, incredible, just does everything that you ask him to do that nobody else seems willing to do or capable of doing. And you know, you saw kind of like the home cooking, how it was helping guys like Aaron Wiggins to hit threes off the bench, and guys like Cason Wallace, like every home game, those kind of guys step up.
We know about role players and playing at home in the playoffs.
But let's not forget like what SGA did in the fourth quarter, what he's been doing in the fourth quarter all series, especially defensively. I've heard people say he doesn't defend. They are insane. This guy is blocking shots, stealing passes, and then turning those things into points immediately.
Yes.
So this is not by accident. This is not even a calculation. It's not even arithmetic. It's more basic than that. It is defensive execution turning into instant offense, and that's how they're beating the team. Ironically, that's how the Pacers got here. You guys could take it away.
Transformer.
No, I like how Sneed ended with that. This game to me was the exact same game in game 1. However, OKC just wasn't knocking down shots off these turnovers. Right? Okay. Like, it was the exact same defense, hounding, playing passing lanes. Alex Caruso had 2 points. 2 points. but you would have never thought of it because he was on every possession, defensively, offensively, moving the ball. He was all over the place, right? They played the exact same game. The only difference, the true difference, they just wasn't knocking down shots in game one. Then last night, they was making sure they either got to the free throw line or they're getting to the basket. And we ain't stopping. We ain't Golden State Warrior in this thing where we stopping at the 3-point line. We're going straight to the cup. You're going to have to foul us. If not, it's going to be an easy layup or a dunk. So absolutely great job on that, Sneed, man. Defensively, they clamped down, right? They got into the Pacers' head, really. When it came to them wanting to pass, you started seeing them hesitate on their first instinct to pass. They're like, okay, let's make sure Caruso's not diving in the lane. Shea's not diving in the lane. Jalen Williams is not diving in the lane, because every time we think our guy is open, hand is out. Caruso, hand is out. Jalen Williams, hand is out, and they're still in the rock. So it got them off their pivot, man. So, I mean, big shout out to their defense, most importantly. But, man, Jalen Williams put up a goddamn game, dog.
Yeah.
It was two players I was impressed with the most this entire game. Jalen Williams and TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell. Those two, I was just highly impressed. More so TJ McConnell, because I know Jalen Williams can score. That kid can score. When he's on, he's on. He's finally having one of the greatest game, if not the greatest game of his career. But TJ McConnell, I'll be remiss. I don't think he should start, but he should definitely be first off the bench. Like, this guy is instant energy, instant offense.
Yeah.
Everything was instant. The moment he got in the game, he had 6 points in 4 minutes, right? He was facilitating the rock, getting in the passing lanes. He was being that energy spark. Yeah. And that's what started the comeback, right? They were up 18. OKC was up 18. TJ checks into the game, instant offense. He was getting to the rock, stopping in the middle, 15 feet, jumpers, shooting over Chet Holmgren. The kid was balling. I don't call him TJ McConnell, I call him Megan's brother. Megan's brother.
Right. Steve stole my thunder on that one.
Megan's brother
was getting it. Yes.
Is getting it in, man. So, man, shout out to both of those guys. But OKC finally did in game 5 what they were trying to do in game 1. Defensively, get the stops, get the turnovers, but score. Like, we have to score. Like, it's okay. We can force 20-something turnovers, and we showed that we can still lose a game. Yeah. We don't score. What's the point in taking the rock back and I'm giving it right back? Right? It's just take back. Like, you take it, I take it, or whatever. Yeah. But if you can take the rock 20 times a game and force this many turnovers, get 13 steals, 14 blocks or whatever, and you can make that points on the other end, got a ball game.
Absolutely. I think it's also interesting to note that, and I guess this is a function, again, outside of McConnell, that they always talk about how role players don't play well away from home. So we saw Mathurin have 27 in game 4 off the bench, 2 for 11, 7 points in game 5. It's just, I don't know if that's a function of more defensive attention played to him after, what he was able to do, or just, unfriendly rims being somewhere else. So you always see those kind of things happen. But, SGA is almost always going to get his 30, but to see Jalen Williams, who is a guy that they talked about a lot in terms of that's the guy that needs to step up for OKC to be the best version of themselves. Clearly he did that. He drops 40, and we see OKC kind of win going away, although this game was closer than it should have been. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Yeah, but can we get to the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant?
Tyrese
Haliburton's injury.
It's over.
Depends on how hurt he is, how injured he is.
Calf strain. He's not going to be able to withstand OKC bullying him like that. They're going to mimic the same. Dort is a pause. He's a load.
Yes, he is.
Of a defender.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
If you already got a calf strain and he's leaning on you and pressing you all day, you're not going to want to do nothing. Because he heard it during the game. So you're able to survive that game, right? Now, when you go home and that adrenaline wear down, that pain truly settles in. Your body's trying to recover from it. If you activate too soon, you're ripping it apart. Everything you're healing, you're ripping apart. They're gonna have to shoot him up with some drugs that LeBron. They're gonna have to shoot him up with some stuff that them boys in the NFL get popped with. Let me say it like that. Them boys in the league get popped with, right?
That new Balco.
That new stuff that don't get tested, right?
The boutique stuff, right?
The boutique stuff, the stuff from Canada that nobody's tested in America yet. But
wow,
but no, that was a joke. That was a joke. Tyrese Haliburton, that calf strain is going to be it. This is why TJ, he's going to have to play 30 minutes next game. I feel like he's going to have to somehow get 28, 30 minutes because he's going to be the offensive energy spark. That if Indiana gets down 5-10, Carlisle's like, nah, come on, TJ.
Well, you know what? Haliburton's got a couple of days to really get, treatment. We'll see what it is. I think it's about the extent of the calf strain, not that it's a calf strain, but we'll find out.
Them things suck now. Ask Steve.
Yeah.
But hold on a second. Let's talk about Tyrese Haliburton's performance in the series while healthy.
Not great.
Has he inspired you?
Game 3.
One game
and one shot, right?
So Sneed, he's a superstar. That's what superstars do.
So now he's going to show up with a half a calf, and he's going to do what? I mean, his game is predicated. His effectiveness is predicated on a threat to the rim.
Correct.
Explosive moves to the basket where he's got the advantage in the quickness. Like you see him get by Caruso, and Caruso's a dog defender. Right. And he can beat Dort if Dort doesn't get to that first step and give him a little bit of a push.
Body. Well,
he'll get past him. He's going to burn by those guys. Without that, he is now just another dude. He's not special anymore.
He's not a standstill shooter. He's none of that. He does step backs.
So you're talking about TJ McConnell coming in because a good version of TJ McConnell is definitely better than a hurt Haliburton.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he just lost his superpower.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Bruce, what you got on that one, bro?
Man, I think part of, like you were asking, Haliburton 28, 32 minutes, right? I think part of not Haliburton, I'm sorry, McConnell. I think part of what makes McConnell special is his ability to come off the bench and do what he does in limited time, right? But if you think that he's going to play extended time or be the starter, that gives the opposition more time to lock in on him and take away what makes him special. And I don't know that he can give you that in a starter's capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, really definitely not a starter. Definitely won't start him.
Right.
Because you don't want him to burn out. You don't want him to burn out.
Right.
But that's not even the biggest problem for the Pacers, as crazy as it sounds. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but some random dude named Tony Bradley came in the game to play because the Pacers couldn't get a rebound.
Wow.
Like Rick Carlisle goes to the end of the bench, bypasses Thomas Bryant, says, I need Tony Bradley in this game right now. That's where we're at in this right now.
Yeah.
We got Carlisle reaching out to Tony Bradley to bring him into the game to get rebounds because Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren are cooking these dudes on the glass.
Bullying.
Yeah, I saw that because Transformer, and you know this about me too, Sneed. I believe in the old school big man philosophies, and rebounding I think is just so key. And I was shocked to see that Holmgren ended with 15. And I'm like, that's how Chet Holmgren is.
I think 5 or 6 offensive, Bruce.
Yeah, and that's big. That's big. That's extra possessions. Yeah.
Well, they're immediate points because he's 7'20".
Right.
They're immediate points.
Right.
They're going right back.
Yeah. Now let's give a shout out to, I believe, Neesmith, who bammed on him last night.
It's gonna happen. You know what though? I'm not mad. Like if you're trying to rebound or if you're trying to protect, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get boomed on. It
was like Chet challenged him. Chet thought he had a clear rebound. He was like, got it. Neesmith said, no, you don't.
Bang.
They got some athletes over there in Indiana.
That was crazy. Every game needs a dunk. It needs a high-flying dunk like that.
Usually it's Obi Toppin. Usually.
Yeah. The dunk champion. Not dunk champion, but dunk competitor. Yeah.
I thought he won a dunk contest, Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin?
Maybe.
I thought he came in second, I thought.
I believe he won one.
Maybe.
Did he win one?
I think so.
Man, are we paying the research department extra bucks for doing this during the show?
Right. Somebody in the chat, let us know if Obi Toppin won a dunk contest. I believe he did.
I'm checking now.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I agree with you guys, but I don't think this series is over, but I think it'll go 7. Remember, I picked it in 6, it may not go 6. But here's the funny thing too, man. I'm looking at this thing. He did, right?
2022. Yeah.
You gotta listen to me, man. No, but
I thought it was second round. My fault. I mean, second place.
All good. But no, I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, as a quick aside to this, it's a shame that we're seeing such good basketball and the ratings aren't reflecting that. Lack of star power and large markets will kill you. And the basketball is some of the best. I think you guys can agree that we've seen in quite some time. Before we got on, Transformer and I were saying this is probably the best final series that we've seen. I know the LeBron fans are going to go crazy, but he and I saying this is the best final series we've seen since 2010 when the Lakers beat the Celtics in 7. I thought that was incredible. I'm sure many will say the 2016, the 1-3 comeback.
The chase down.
Best of all time. But anyway.
Weren't there blowouts in 2016 in that series?
Probably.
I think
earlier in the series, right?
Yeah,
game
probably.
2 was
because the Warriors were on a tear until the stimulus package. The Warriors were on a tear. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What?
That man got suspended 1 game. They lost 2 more after that.
Big Mo is a real thing in sports.
Bro, booted out of game 5, suspended game 6. That's 2 games.
No, he was booted out. It was game 4. He didn't play game 5, and he played game 6 and 7.
Because
is that right?
Yeah, it was game 4.
No, it had to be game 5 because they were Golden State was up 3-1 in that series.
Yeah, it was booted out of game 5, missed game 6, and then was back for game 7.
Right.
I thought he missed 2 more games after that. I mean, he played 2 games after that.
That can't be right because the Warriors.
Because I'm thinking he was suspended game 5. I thought it was. But it's neither here nor there. That's an irrelevant topic.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
But great point, Woodage. There you go. First 6 were all blowouts. So we say this to say, Transformer and I were saying prior to that aside, that we feel like this series has been the most competitive and the best final series that we've seen since 2010 Celtics Lakers. Now, we could have some bias there, him being a Laker and me being a Celtic. We get that. But just in terms of the closeness, the toughness, the grit, what appears to be a 7-game back and forth seesaw type series,
What about Milwaukee Phoenix, that series?
That was 6 games.
That was a 7. Was it 6?
And and the thing was Phoenix was up 2-0.
Yeah.
And then Giannis took off and Milwaukee went on a right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. 4 straight. So,
yeah, it's not too competitive.
Easy, Edward, easy. All right, let's do this, y'all. We're gonna take 2 quick calls on this topic. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. We'll take 2 quick calls on this topic on game 5. Get your thoughts, and then we'll move right along to the next topic.
Obi Toppin was a runner-up in 2021. That's what I was thinking.
That's what you were thinking about.
He won it the next year. Yeah.
Right.
Next season.
Bro, by the way, Chet Holmgren is impressing me because he's tougher than I thought he was.
Yeah.
He's playing in these games. He's actively engaging in all aspects of the game. He's not scoring a lot. He's had a couple of decent games offensively, but he's not like getting iced out of games. I mean, he's on the ground getting knocked over, but that's just physics.
Yeah.
He's 7'5", 194 pounds. So
I know, right?
like he's gonna fall, but he gets up and he plays through it, and he
runs.
I gotta give him some respect because I didn't think he was this tough. He's tough.
I think the last 2 games he turned his ankle and he came. He sat down for like 2 minutes, came right back.
I'm impressed. I thought he was gonna kind of get chumped out, bro.
Yeah. Because Miles Turner is a pause. He's a load. So, I mean, you would have thought that the banging against him, you're like, all right, Chet can't deal with it. But no, Chet.
Let me ask you this real quick, Transformer. As a personal trainer, this is your lane. So I want to ask you. I'm not making a statement. I'm asking you. Is it that they're not attempting to weight train Holmgren, or is his frame just not capable of developing?
Frame has a lot to do with it. Frame has a lot to do with everything, especially when you're talking basketball, because Chet Holmgren's game is predicated off of his shot too. So like he can shoot the rock. So when you're trying to add weight to a guy that's forever all his life been that slender, you can really realistically only add 10, 15 pounds before he becomes too imbalanced. Because now he's going to be too strong, and you got to. That rock is the same weight, same size. There's nothing going to change. So over the course of time, he can gain a little bit of weight, but he's not going to pull a Giannis. Like Giannis's frame, his shoulders were wide. Right. He just needed to feel it, right? Chet Holmgren, he's more of a Kevin Durant, just taller, just real slender. He's not going to put too much muscle on his body because that'll cause an inefficient and
when it comes to hoops. When it comes to hoops, it's important that these things occur gradually. Like when somebody puts on muscle, like your shot can't get altered. Like these guys are cognizant and aware. They're like, if I'm lifting weights heavy, I still got to put up shots after my lift. You know, stuff like that. They're still very cognizant and aware of their skill. And if he slows down because he bulks up, what makes him special?
Yeah. At that point,
he's a legitimate center size blowing by these guys. And he gets that first step. And if you notice, he shies away from the contact. He wants space. He tries to move over like an extra couple of feet so he can get the big strides going to the rim. He doesn't want to get knocked off his line at all because he probably can't finish. Yeah. You know, if he gets pushed, he's flying. You know, he's really getting knocked off his line.
Not enough bricks in his pocket, Sneak.
So real quick, Transformer. I asked that question because Wemby was super slim too. And you can see when you look at him, you can see like how much muscle he's packed on. You can see the definition. You can see like he looks different. I mean, he's never going to be like David Robinson, but you can see he looks different. And we see Power of a Horror. What up, Ka? And he says, you know, maybe he can pull a KG. We saw KG over time kind of get stronger, and we saw a difference in his body. So I think that's kind of more what I was asking. But
I got KG's shorter too. KG's what, 6'10", 6'11", maybe
7 foot.
Yeah, but if I was Chet, I would be working on two things in the offseason, unrelated to my weight. I would be working on the speed of my release on my three. Okay. That thing's got to come out faster. There's people blocking it. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to go. Yes, it's got to go up higher over his head, or it needs to be a quicker release. He needs to fix that. Right. And the other thing is, I don't want to get too picky about his game, but like he's turning his ankles a lot. So he just like that part of his balance, maybe, and maybe it's because he's so lanky. But so maybe that's kind of like the physics of his body, his physiology. So let's stay away from the physiology, but he dribbles too high and the ball is out there. He has to pick up the dribble anytime somebody comes near him.
Yeah.
It's so he'll be much more impactful offensively if he fixes those things. They're small things, by the way. Those things can be fixed very quickly.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Man. I mean, it's going to take some time. But the thing about him and guys his size, you can't rush the weight. Their knees are super important, right? Those knees can only tolerate little by little versus a Lamar Jackson. I come back and I'm 20 pounds heavier, right? You know what I mean? Much shorter guy. When you're 7 foot, them knees are very, very brittle. Them ligaments are only so long and they can only take so much weight over the course of time.
Feet,
yes.
Like ask Big Z, who did like 11 foot procedures during his career, 3 of them experimental. They said this may not work. And look at Big Z's career at the end. It was cut short.
Yeah. Bill Walton, he had foot problems.
Bill Walton, major foot problem. Yeah. That tells you how great he was.
I bet you Shaq's feet are wrecked, bro.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like this.
I'm sure most of those big
350 pounds and 7 foot whatever, and he's flying up and down the floor.
The pounding he's putting on those things is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the next topic. Good stuff, y'all. All right. One of my favorite guys, Rob Parker. He's one of my favorite journalists.
Do you love him?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. No, but he's one of my favorite journalists, though. And I love the fact that he will tell you what he believes it is. And I think he's usually pretty fair. Sometimes, you know, he's got his shtick that he does, as most of these guys on TV and radio do. Like he's very much, great call, Kai. Yep, Yao Ming. Rob Parker, you know, he's got his anti-Brady shtick. It is what it is, you know, big baseball guy, but whatever. So Tyrese Haliburton had some comments after Game 5, and he took some shots at the media. So Rob Parker, he felt the need to protect us, and I agree with a lot of what he said. So we got about 5 minutes of commentary, and I definitely wanted to give you guys an opportunity to respond to this, kind of because you will see it from a different perspective than I do. I think it was fair what he had to say, but you guys will probably see it from a different angle. Obviously, me, you know, being a trained journalist, I will not that I can't be fair, but I kind of totally see where he's coming from on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll play that. And you know what we do. We play, we stop, we play, we stop. And it's about 5.5 minute clip. And Looking forward to hearing you guys' thoughts on it. Let's go.
After the game, after they won in game 3 and he had his best game of the series, Tyrese Haliburton took aim at the talking heads who wanted to see more out of him. Take a listen.
The commentary is always going to be what it is. You know, most of the time, the talking heads on the major platforms, I couldn't care less, honestly. Like, what do they really know about basketball? Commentary is what it is at this point. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, we're here in the NBA Finals, 2 wins away from an NBA championship. So, you know, just got to stay with it, put my head down, keep working. And as a group, we just got to keep learning from our mistakes, see where we can get better, and take it a day at a time.
All right, before they go ahead and give their thoughts, man, I want to get your thoughts on him, Tyrese Haliburton. And pardon me, that was after game 3, not game 5, when he says, most of the talking heads don't know anything about basketball. Where are you all with that?
Sneed, you're the guest. I would like you.
He's very wrong. There are some talking heads that know a hell of a lot of basketball. They've been watching the game a long time. Some of them have played. Some guys, I think, are very fair in their assessment of players. I think what Haliburton is doing is I think he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. Right. Mm-hmm. He's trying to say this motivates me. This drives me. Have at it. Took all the smiggity smack that you want about me. Mm-hmm. It's fuel to drive me. Right. Well, if you believe in what you're saying, then you don't need anybody's approval. You don't care what talking heads say then. Right. That if that really continues to drive you, but trying to invalidate what people are saying, like they're picking the team, you know, like the Thunder are better than the Pacers. So if they're picking the Thunder, they're using logic and reasoning. You know, if they doubt you, it's because they think SGA is better. It's not even really personal if you think about it. Now, he has a right to be angry at his contemporaries who said he is the most overrated player in the league. Right. His venom for whoever doubts him is actually misplaced. It should be directed at his contemporaries and not the media. Right. The media they're paid to do this. They're paid to evaluate. They're paid to offer commentary. They're even paid to just buzz, right? Just say anything in some instances. I swear there's some talking heads that just say stuff to say it. So I get what he's saying, you know what I mean, in that respect, but you can't do that. You can't invalidate what they're saying and act like it doesn't drive you and then say, yeah, it drives me. It's just you're losing credibility, and I'm not buying it. I don't know. And I don't know what's real. I don't know if he really has the mentality where doubters really drive him or it bothers him and he's insecure about it, because I can't tell right now.
Transform.
Is he a superstar or no?
No.
This clarifies it more and more and more. Mm-hmm. Superstars take that on the chin and they keep going. Mm-hmm. Superstars get criticized on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. His name just started surfacing in the playoffs for his heroic play, heroic fourth quarter performances. Without a shadow of a doubt, amazing.
Who's a superstar? Who is a superstar?
Who is a superstar?
Who is a superstar?
LeBron James
in his playoff. Oh, like period. Okay, yeah.
Name a superstar.
LeBron James is.
Okay, is Haliburton that?
Giannis.
Is Haliburton Giannis? Is he LeBron? Is he?
No.
See?
No.
Not even close.
Right.
First of all, he didn't get voted to any All NBA team. What superstar doesn't get any votes?
Yeah, none. That is crazy. Yeah,
none. No vote. Not even third. Right. I'm not even good enough to make the third team. So that just. But anyway, to my point, superstars take that on the chin, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The media is going to talk whether you like it or not. That's their job. That's how they get paid. That's their profession. Your profession is to perform well on the court. If you perform well on the court, then they'll probably say something good about you.
No, Kaz says he made All NBA third team. Okay.
Did he make that? I don't think he made that this year.
Maybe. Well, go ahead.
We'll see. But third team. What superstars on third team?
I got the research department. I got it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But either way, like your play, right?
Yes, Edward.
What's going to determine
All NBA third team.
Okay, All NBA third team. Woo woo. Second team, first team. That's where your superstars hang at. Sorry.
He joins James Harden. Cade Cunningham, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Williams.
Neither one of those guys are superstars. James Harden had a peak to where he was at superstardom for his scoring, but then when the playoffs came, he went back to all-star James Harden. So we see how that worked out. But to say things like these guys didn't play the game, so they don't know what they're talking about. It's coaches in the NBA that didn't play in the NBA who are NBA coaches. NBA coaches.
And you'll hear Rob Parker
play in the NBA. Oh, did he say that?
You'll hear.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm speaking preemptively. I didn't hear what Rob Parker had to say, but that's my first thought. I'm like, wait a minute. Because they didn't play. It's coaches, championship coaches who didn't play in the league. They probably played some high school ball, maybe a little collegiate basketball, but they didn't play in the NBA. They didn't get drafted, right? They're NBA coaches. So to say stuff like that, just like Haliburton, bro, just take it on the chin, like, hey, working on my game. I hear him, but I try to focus on my game. Saying something like that, that's different. But slight these guys, the guys don't know what they're talking about. They didn't play the game and blah blah blah. Come on, man. Some of the greatest coaches didn't even play. Greg Popovich wasn't in the NBA.
Man, you jumping the shark, man.
Oh, my bad.
Some coaches.
You good though. You good.
Some coaches that were players were bums.
Bums.
They were just sitting at the end of the bench. They were just hanging out in the coattails.
Rick
Passing
Carlisle.
out water. Need water? Eric Spoelstra. Champion. That man played 2 years on the I don't even think he was on the bench. I think he was in the crowd.
Played basketball?
I want to say he went undrafted. He went undrafted in the NBA.
Played though?
I thought that I thought he made his way up by being
a video camera
guy. Yeah,
that's how he got his job. But I'm talking about him playing basketball.
But he got his job in his 30s, like early 30s.
Yeah, because he wasn't good in his 20s.
He won't last that long.
He wasn't good in his 20s.
Wow,
he wasn't good in his 20s, man. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, stuff like that, man. And I'm gonna let them cook. But one of the greatest coaches of all time, El Jefe, didn't play.
El Jefe, that's right.
What do you say now, Haliburton? Does he not know what he's talking about?
Yeah, and these cats just say stuff, man. But let's hear some more of what Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington have to say.
This is my issue. And if I was at the press conference, I would do it. Excuse me.
I love this part.
Who are you talking about? Who is it? Who is the talking heads who don't know anything about basketball? Are you talking about Charles Barkley? Talking about Kenny Smith? Are you talking about Stephen A? Who are you talking about?
He did say ESPN.
Okay, but my point would be who? Guys who have covered the NBA for 35 years or whatever. Like when people were praising you, did you also think the talking heads knew anything about basketball?
I like that right there. Because remember, after he hit that shot in game 1 and even prior to the finals, everybody was bigging him up, showing him love for what he had done on this run through the Eastern Conference. And then, obviously to get the shocker at the end of game 1. So it's like, yeah, you didn't have any problem with the quote unquote talking heads then. But when the talking heads criticize you, then you have issue. Like you got to pause. You got to be ready to take it all in that situation. You want to be a superstar. You want to be that guy. You have to. This is what I really don't understand with, like, I guess, modern society. People think they can have all the good and no bad comes with that. That's amazing to me. But if you criticize, you're a hater. Like that, I'm like, seriously? That makes no sense to me at all. And real quick, I love what Rob Parker said there, and that speaks to his, decades of experience in the post-game scrums and in the post-game pressers, where he's like, yo, I would have asked the question. And I love it because in my times in the post-game press conferences, like even in my very first one, like sometimes I'd be nervous. I literally would think about, having heard him say, look, go in there and ask the question. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to kick you out? You're not cursing and acting like a degenerate. Like, ask the question. So I love it. And that's good stuff. Definitely motivating on the journalistic side.
But Bruce,
hearing those things. Yeah.
Remember the situation with his dad?
Yeah.
So what type of behaviors are we exemplifying here? What are we demonstrating? How are we acting? Is it so off-brand for young developing dudes, right? They're trying to develop an identity. Like, let's be honest, you're in your 20s, you're still forming who you are.
Yes.
Some of these guys aren't always so sure of themselves. And I think he's heard great players say things like that. Oh, I don't care what they say, and they don't know what they're talking about, right? But I think what was missed in all this, and I know what he was trying to do, is he was trying to say, this drives me.
Right.
The talking heads and this drives me.
Right.
You're saying it, but now you're showing that you don't mean it. It looks like it bothers you.
Right.
And this was one of the things, like, I really believe that Kobe didn't care. I really believe that Kobe didn't care about anyone and what they had to say about him.
This man was battling a court case that could have got him locked up and came out and dropped 40 and 50 in 3 consecutive games. He didn't care.
Yeah, I don't think he cared.
That shows me he don't give a damn.
Or anything. Yeah.
He didn't give a damn.
So when he said things like, I was just like, yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably it. That's real. Like with Haliburton, I think he's being disingenuous. And I don't know if that's what it takes for him to get up and do his thing, right? And to be the best version of himself. But I'm just not buying that's the real him.
There you go. All right.
I mean, obviously, how did he play post that? Right. So
bad outcomes. Yeah.
There you go. Let's continue with the clip here.
It's so ridiculous, so lame. And these guys, they just throw anything out because they don't want to be criticized. That's where we are. It's first when, it was like, hey, you guys never played, whatever. Then I always go to these guys. I said the same thing over and over.
Here you go, Transformer.
Can you show me the film of Bill Belichick in the NFL? I'll wait. Can you show me that?
Right.
Oh, he didn't play in the league, but he's considered one of the great. Okay.
Brad Auerbach hit one out there getting it in.
How about Pop on the NBA? When did he play? Can you show me that tape? What team did he play for? Oh, he didn't play in the NBA. Okay, so he doesn't know anything about basketball, correct? Because that's what you said. If you don't play, it's not possible that you know anything about it because you're not out there. Then when Shaq, Chuck, and those guys. Charles, because Charles was the one that they all hated first. Because he was critical. They all hate Charles didn't play. He was an MVP. All this went to the fire. So he doesn't know anything about basketball. Like stop. Just say that you're paper thin with your feelings. Everybody's a big baby. Nobody wants to be criticized. This whole notion that you lump everybody together and nobody knows what they're talking about is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Again, these guys, I admire him as a player, but when guys say stuff like this, I lose a lot of respect for him. I'm going to tell you, because the whole notion that you could just lump everybody together and just say the talking heads, it's a stronger argument. If you want to go and do that and undress somebody, I'm dead serious. So-and-so today said on the ESPN First Take, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not. We have not run that defense. We don't do that.
Right.
But I'm listening. I am listening, okay? If you can make that case, make that argument. But to just lump everybody together and, God forbid, can a reporter in Washington, D.C. cover the White House because they were never president?
There's a million things. I always talk about business writer, entrepreneur magazines,
you can't,
business journal. They didn't know how to run a business. I'm a writer about business.
That just doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. It's dumb. It's stupid. And every time I hear it, I cringe because there's no reason for that.
And it just makes it worse,
because you don't do it when you do something great and you make a shot and everybody's going crazy about you. Tell me then.
And most people have been singing his praises all postseason long about the fact that he was the most overrated, and he's kind of superseded that. And I think
giving him credit. Wow.
You and I raised our hand. What did we say? Our apologies. We ain't even talk about the Pacers
because they got off to that really slow start.
There were other bigger storylines in the East, and so my thing is too, dude. Of all the things to be critical about and say all the talking heads, it's something that is your thing. Being aggressive.
My God, is that the worst thing in the world? That somebody said you should be more aggressive.
Every player, you name the sport, is going to have a thing or two that they just have to work on, right? And if there's Shaq, the most dominant player the last 40, 50 years, but what was Shaq's issue? Free throws. So if all of a sudden we were critical of his free throws, he made it, you know what I'm saying? I already know these talking heads are going to say, about me shooting free. Yeah, that's your issue. That's your Achilles heel. Guys have it. There were times Kobe Bryant would force shots, and we knew that. LeBron James, sometimes we wanted to be more aggressive as well. Go ahead and close the thing out. Go crazy like you did in the other game. There are certain things to me that you can't act as though it's asinine being brought up.
That's what
and aggression for him is one of those. If we all of a sudden said, I don't like Tyrese Haliburton not shooting 23s, okay, that's not his game. So that's being ridiculous. But him being a little more assertive, a little more aggressive, his team needs it. Dude, when he has 20 points and 10 assists, they're like, what is it, 20 and 15 and 1 or something crazy?
Right. It's just obvious stuff. It's not even like rocket science stuff. And that's the part that is ridiculous, that they're so bent out of shape, or the whole notion that it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? For just saying.
Being more aggressive is all the thing. I mean, it wasn't a personal attack. It was just being a little more aggressive. Same thing your trainer told you before he would bring you on a board. So there's a lot more to me that it could have been work like that would give him issues.
So a lot there, but it kind of gets back to some of the points that all three of us made here. One, it's a nonsensical premise to say, well, if you didn't play, you don't know what you're talking about. That's absurd, because then you got guys from the older generation who know what they're talking about, but you complain when they criticize you as well. So what's your excuse there? They don't know what they're talking about? Charles Barkley and Shaq don't know what they're talking about? Really? That's what it is. It's, it's just like I said before,
who've been to the top, who
correct,
already
or very close to it in Charles Barkley's case.
Yeah.
Or if you're Kenny Smith or Shaq, you've been to the top, right? So it's just frustrating to me. I think it's definitely this modern world and this modern mentality of you want all the good, but you can't accept what comes with it, and it's like, that's just not how life works.
No, true, man. Sneed, you got anything on that, brother?
I think it would have done him better to just come out and say, guys like XYZ who said this about me, who I disagree with,
put a name on
I have, and then say who I've used to help motivate me in preparing better for games and asserting myself, or shooting, or whatever. It's more productive that way, because now it shifts the focus away from you and onto the person who was wrong about you, right? But by him casting that umbrella, I think he just offended some people who legitimately work hard to be objective. Like I think that Rob Parker tries to be, so that's probably why he was a little bit upset, because I think, if I remember correctly, Rob Parker likes the Pacers.
Yes, he does.
I mean, he just the other day, dude was singing, "I'm going back to Indiana."
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, if he didn't adore or like the Pacers, this is probably why it bothers him a little bit.
Yeah, it's tough for me just hearing that, because I don't know. I think Rob made a lot of good points there, and it's again, it's just like, why are y'all so soft? I don't get it. And I know that's old head hater, but it seems like some of these young guys are so soft. Like, how about you just be like, yo, F that. To your point, put the name on it. But you know what? Here's a question I got for y'all. I just thought about this, right? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, obviously one of the greatest players of all time. I have him number 3 all time on my list, right? A lot of people have him number 1. A lot of people have him number 2, and that's fine. I have him number 3 right behind Magic. But here's the deal. When it comes to Kareem, I think there's a widely held conception that he hasn't maybe gotten some of his due, or maybe hasn't been in some positions with the NBA post-playing career because of how the media feels about him right now. He also had a reputation for being pretty surly with the media, et cetera, and with fans as well. But the media holds a lot of power. And do you think that the players today are very cognizant of the amount of power that the media holds in terms of shaping public perception of said player? And as a result, that's why they get so, I'll just use the term, they get so butthurt when they're criticized by the mainstream media?
Yeah, but the players have taken some of that power now, because they're in front of mics so often. Like, now they voluntarily put themselves in front of mics. Like, if you look at the older era, it was like I've been watching hoops since the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's the time where you'll find any type of old footage on press conferences. I don't see any press conferences from the 70s or the 60s. Like, everything was on tape delay. Like, nobody was talking.
Right.
I remember my dad tells me stories all the time. He's like, you could hang out after the game at an NBA arena and meet the players and see they're walking by you. They were like, you want to talk about accessible in real life. Now they're accessible through their podcasts and their platforms.
Right.
They're already talking. Their mouths running like hot water, bro. Like there's nothing left to the imagination.
Right.
They're coming out and spilling the beans. And what's end up happening is these guys are saying a lot. And it's like self-incrimination. And
we the best.
Disregard my Memphis brothers.
I'm sure you've heard
it's
that.
All love. It's all love.
And now I can't unsee it. That's the crazy part.
What's sad? Swear to God.
Yeah.
I thought when he first logged on, I was like, it's like we got Khaled.
Yeah.
But I said it in my head. I ain't say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? Khaled's my guy. I love DJ Khaled, man. I love DJ Khaled.
Yeah. No,
we the best, man.
I know, right? We're the best. No, you're right. And the players. So I think with the players and the media and the podcast and stuff, I think that there needs to be a healthy balance, right? Which is why a lot of times you see on these player podcasts, you'll see they'll have like a journalist or a reporter with them, right? So that person kind of leads in terms of running the interview, but the player is there to they'll bring the aspect of being able to bring that behind the scenes stuff that the journalist can't bring. What it's like in the locker room, what it's like on the team playing, different, stories that the journalist might not be aware of that's gone, that's been involved or gone among players in different situations. So I get it. And there is value to having the players, but a lot of times, like if they're conducting an interview, most times the players don't ask proper questions. Most times they don't push back. They just accept everything that's said, no matter how nonsensical it may or may not be. So I think that you got to have that balance of having a journalist or somebody that's trained there to kind of help the player along the way. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. We'll take 2 calls on this and then we'll get to the next one. So 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. Take 2 calls on this do you guys think Rob Parker was fair in his criticism of Tyrese Haliburton? What the hell?
What the hell?
Right. In terms of what Haliburton had to say, or do you think Rob Parker's response was fair? Do you think he was too hard on him? Do you think he was just caping up for reporters? Let us know. I definitely would like to hear what y'all think about this.
I think it was a healthy mixture of both. I mean, one, you're gonna cape up for your people, but
right
at the same time, like all they said was be more. We see what the Pacers do when you're more aggressive.
Correct.
We see y'all win 90% of the time. Y'all win in the game. Right. Your team needs you to be aggressive right now, Haliburton.
That's right.
I mean, what NBA player, high level player, has been able to avoid criticism?
None.
Who doesn't get smoked? I hear stuff about Joker every day. I hear stuff about SGA every day.
Yeah.
The guys that are regarded as the MVPs, people talk about Giannis every day.
Superstar.
Right. Every day.
Right.
So what are they going to talk about a guy who comes up and is absent sometimes in these huge moments?
Right. Agreed. Edward, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas?
Doing all right. How about you?
Man, good, man. Good. I hope everybody enjoyed their Father's Day.
Yes.
Go ahead and get there out there because my timeline was empty like church on Father's Day on a Sunday. I swear to God it was. But the new guy on the panel, let me just say another one.
Oh,
so
my
what's
God.
up, Governor? Hey, my brother Mike started it, man. I just wanted to say that. But,
Jesus Christ.
Hey, but no, though, all serious though, I don't have no problem with what Rob Parker said. I really think that he was talking about Stephen A. Smith.
Probably.
So,
talking about Haliburton.
It was all on social media. Him playing solitary while I think it was either halftime or it was on a timeout. Ain't no telling.
Yeah, saw that.
But however, so Bruce, I know you said you've been in the locker rooms with Jacksonville and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think some reporters can take it a little bit out of the line with their questioning with players?
Yes. Like anyone else, reporters can make mistakes. Reporters can be out of bounds with doing their job or not do their job properly. Absolutely. Yes, it can happen.
Yeah. So I don't think it was out of bounds with what Rob Parker said. I don't see that, but I know that Pascal had a situation with a reporter. I think he was.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean he probably was out of bounds on that. But other than that, man, I have no issue with it. I mean, hey, Tyree, man, you just got to play better. That's all we can say, brother.
That's it.
I mean, I know that, you know what I'm saying, he's playing, he's being really, like, you know, how y'all era is, Snead and Bruce.
What?
You know, he's a true point guard first. He wants to get everybody involved first, then get himself involved. But I know Magic was like, nah, bump that, man. I'm finna score and blah, blah, blah. You know, give you 20 and 15 and 15 or something like that. So
why did you say that, like, being a true point guard is a bad thing, Edward?
I'm not hey, what are you talking about? Hey,
no, that was interesting how you phrased it.
I don't think he's saying it was a bad thing. He's just saying he's just more of a traditional point guard.
Yeah, how he's like, from y'all era, true point guard.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is that?
It's not modern now. Like, it was more modern. What he's saying, he's from Memphis. We screw up our words a lot. What he's saying is, it's not modern in today's game. A lot of ones today are really twos masquerading as ones.
That's correct.
Back in your time, the 90s, you had traditional point guards.
But we had traditional point guards that could still score, though. Your Terrell Brandons, your Mark Prices, your Kevin Johnsons, all those guys could, Gary Payton, all them dudes could still score. Isaiah Thomas, one of the best scoring points ever, but still a true point guard.
But their primary job was passing. Like, they focus more on facilitating.
Exactly. Like John Stockton, his primary job was passing. Come on, Bruce. You know this, man. Like, today's game, like, I don't see how they saying Stephen Curry is a point guard. I don't see him as a point guard.
He's not.
Definitely a two.
He's an undersized two.
Allen Iverson. Even though he played the two.
He played the two. So, yeah, he played the two.
He played the two.
Eric Snow played the one.
You couldn't hide Allen Iverson being a shooting guard. He couldn't masquerade that.
And like right now, like this today, you got point forwards like Draymond Greens, the Monty Sabonises, and the Joker. I don't care what you say, Bruce. Hey, just saying.
Just saying what? Just saying what? What you saying?
Super saying.
We talking about the Joker. When it comes to me talking about the Joker, you know how you get. But
yeah,
wrap this up, man. Come on.
Oh no!
Don't pull him out of this element, dog.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it, but other than that, man, I agree with Rob Parker.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just hopefully it'll be a good game 6. But man, in these finals, hey, I was saying this has been the best finals. I heard that. I was like, I'm not even gonna call in on that. I don't see
since 2010.
I don't.
Give me one that was better.
Yeah, great point, Transformer. Yes, give us one. Give us one that was better.
In my honest opinion, I think it was the Phoenix and the Milwaukee series.
How? Milwaukee was down 0-2 and then ripped off 4 straight. Like, that's not competitive. How is that better?
But how is this one? Okay, how can you see this one being competitive though? I mean, like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, how?
Every game is close and they're back and forth.
There you go.
There's not been one blowout.
And
it's all down to the fourth quarter.
This is the first. We've just got back-to-back wins. We just got it now, right? Late in the series.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
Right in the back half of the series, we got back-to-back wins.
That's a good point,
yeah. Okay. I can agree. Okay. You see, I'm very agreeable. Okay, I appreciate that, though.
Yes, Edward, you are agreeable.
Yeah, guy who sells cell phones out the van. I appreciate that, brother. All right, man. I'm gonna keep listening to the show, man. Y'all keep
that's how I got the hookup pun right there.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Edward. Hey, yo, Mike, I saw you calling, man. Go ahead, give us a quick call, and then we'll move to the next topic. Yeah, so I saw somebody ask earlier if Reggie Miller was a superstar. That can't be a question, right? Reggie Miller absolutely was a superstar. Is the dog snoring again?
Is she?
I thought I heard something. My bad. What's up, Mike? How you doing, brother?
She is
What it do, y'all all right?
Yeah, maintaining, bro. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, but I think Haliburton, mine. I don't know. I think he was getting his ass kicked, so he tried to play her. So I ain't gonna lie.
He trying to play hurt.
Say he getting his ass kicked. Got to play hurt.
Yeah, he was getting his ass kicked, bro. I think he played hurt, bro. I done seen that shit too much out there, and I think he just transferred out there. That might getting his ass kicked, couldn't make a shot, and played hurt, bro. Because I'm just saying though, it was like he was limping to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was in the injury, bro. People really, if you hurt, bro. Come on, man.
You see a gimp in your step.
No.
Well, I also think part of it is like, you're talking a calf. As long as it's still warm and doesn't have a chance to cool down and then tighten up on you, you probably can still go for a little while. But like post game, like that's it. You know what I mean? And Transformer, he can speak to this better than I can. But a lot of times those soft tissue injuries you see where guys can still kind of go for a while, but once that game is over, like that's it.
That inflammation hits.
Yeah. Blood flow is not the same. It's not warm. It get cold on you and lock up, and then now you got a problem. It's like when Isaiah Thomas was in the finals in '88 in Game 6, and he had that terrible ankle roll. He's running around with an ankle the size of a baseball, but he's killing 26 points in the third, right? And he did his thing. He's limping around, but he was killing. Game 7, he could barely move. He couldn't do much. He tried to go, but he couldn't do much. So it's kind of like that.
He only had 4 points at the free throw.
Did what?
Did he only have 4 points at the free throw line?
Oh, no. Isaiah was killing. No, he had 30-something that game, 26 points in the third quarter.
I'm saying, though, but I done seen folks hit his mind, getting the ass kicked.
I get what you're saying.
My toe hurt. You know what I'm saying? Now I can't play. My toe hurt.
Nah, I don't know. I would say Tyrese tried to go because remember McConnell was killing, and the coach of the Pacers, I forget, Rick Carlisle pulled McConnell to let Tyrese Haliburton go back into the game, even though he wasn't at full strength. So I'm gonna say even though he was injured, like he tried to go out there and compete. So I'm not mad at that.
It's all good. I just little iffy to me, man. But I just want to call in and check in with y'all folks, man. Y'all take it easy, be safe out there.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Appreciate you, bro, man. Love
you, bro.
All right, good stuff, y'all. Okay, let's go. Let's get right into the next topic, and this is why I really wanted my guy Transformer here. Magic was on ESPN the other day. And he was on, I think he did like 45 minutes uninterrupted on First Take, no commercials. I thought that was super cool. And all right, so y'all already know. You can look at my logo up there, and you see, I bleed green and white. I'm Celtics to the core, right? But y'all also know, if you've been around this show for any amount of time, or you know me and my thoughts on basketball, you know how I feel about that man, Magic Johnson. And he's my second greatest player of all time. I truly believe that. I'm not just saying it. I've said it a number of times. I think him, obviously, in conjunction with Larry Bird, we know they saved the NBA. He's without question the greatest point guard of all time, the greatest passer, even though like the stats aren't quite there. And I believe he's the greatest Laker of all time. I really do. And anybody who says Kobe, like that's okay. But for me, I think it's Magic. I think Magic is the greatest Laker of all time because he was the one that really started it in terms of like we saw George Mikan with the Minneapolis. Well, we didn't see him, but George Mikan with the Minneapolis.
We didn't see none of them games.
I think 5 championships, if I'm not mistaken, Snead with Minneapolis. And then the great Jerry West went to the finals, I want to say 8 or 9 times. Nine. Was only able to squeeze one championship out of that run, right? As great as he was. But Magic came along and he was able to really be the engine that took the Lakers to the next level and, for quite some time surpassed the Boston Celtics and then, back and forth Celtics, Lakers. But Magic is that guy, man. Nobody's going to convince me he's not. I even have him ahead of Larry Bird on my all-time rankings. He's Magic, Shut up, man. But no, Magic was on First Take. I love to hear him talk basketball. And, he's always a good listen. Before we go ahead and get started on some of those comments that he made while he was on with Stephen A. Smith, I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on Earvin Magic Johnson before we go ahead and get to that. Transformer, you first, and then Snead.
Negative. Y'all know my thoughts. You see the hat. Snead, please give us your thoughts, man. I will talk for an hour just on that.
For the longest time, Magic Johnson was viewed as an anomaly. He was a non-prototypical point guard.
Right.
You know, and you look at the way he played the game and he revolutionized the game. I think it kind of lent itself to bigger guys being able to play positions that were untraditional, right? So like you didn't have to just look at a dude and say, okay, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", they have to play power forward or center. They're like, okay, this guy has really good court vision. Why don't we get the ball in his hands to make some plays, right? And then also giving them scoring duties as a point guard. He was a really versatile player. He had leadership. He was an instant champion, right? He started winning right away.
Right away.
Huge plays in the finals. His resume is loaded. So when you pick him as your second best player, I don't agree. I don't think he's the second greatest, but like he belongs in the discussion of the greatest players ever because of how important he was to the evolution of the game. And I think what gets overlooked is the fact that he came around and saved the league, because the league was on tape delay. The league had all these problems. The league just didn't mainstream. And I think him and Bird were able to do that. And in a similar way, I don't know if you guys know about MMA, but like there were guys from like you guys watch UFC?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then you know what I'm talking about. Certain guys came along and just made the game. It was like George St. Pierre and John Jones and Lyoto Machida, the guys that did it at that time, right? Like there were guys before them that were playing when they were fighting when there were no rules, and we respect what they did, and they're all like, but like they were like they ushered in the modern era of like this new, I guess, better form of basketball entertainment. Right. And that so I get it, man. I always listen to what he has to say, and he's one of the smartest guys that talks hoops.
I think he dumbs it down for the rest of us, honestly. I really do, because we know the guy is a savant.
You know who's able to do that, Bruce? Business people. Business people like CEOs. They know how to dumb it down so people can understand.
That's true. That's a great point. Yeah, that dude. Doesn't he have, I think he's got 15 championships across everything. Obviously, he's got the 5 as a Laker, then he's got a few as a co-owner, partial owner of the Sparks. He's got the Dodgers e-streaming championships, like everything
video games
into is like winner, you know.
Bro, don't pick up sticks like that.
I think there's 2 things where he could have improved in terms of his business acumen. One, and I get it. When Nike offered him way back in the day, Converse said, "Hey, I think we're going to give you $25,000." And then Nike said, "Well, we don't have $25,000, but we can give you the money. We can give you stock options." And Magic, growing up, hard scrabble upbringing. Obviously, he had his mother and father, but I think 9 or 10 brothers and sisters. He's like, "Yo, I need the cash." You know what I'm saying? And I respect that, but he talks about it to this day, like, "Damn, it kills me that I didn't take the stock options in Nike. I should have took."
Yeah,
that.
But good investors and good businessmen learn from that experience. Yes, I know he did, because look where he is. So he obviously learned.
Right. What's up, Laker Nation? No, I didn't. I didn't think you was gonna. Okay, I didn't think you was gonna be around, but I got you next time. But yeah, so no, Magic. Again, y'all know where I am on Magic, but we had an opportunity to hear he, and Stephen A. Have some discussion the other day on First Take. So let's get right into it, and we'll see what we got.
Magic, what must LeBron and Luka do to bring a title back to your LA Lakers?
Well, I think first give Coach Redick some love, because that was important that he said, "Hey, we have to be in NBA championship conditioning." Yeah. And Luka, listen, so give him credit.
Real quick, I know I'm interrupting already, but one, I do have to give JJ Redick some love, because I thought he was going to fall flat on his face this year. I really did. But, he ended up being better than I thought and having more success than I thought. So respect due for that. Secondly, I find it interesting that everybody's talking about, "Oh, Luka lost weight." That's cool. I want to see how much weight Luka loses when he comes back to the States, though, right? Think about it. Most people, I don't know how
keep the
many
weight off. That's what you're saying.
Europe, but keep the weight off. Yes. Yeah. I don't know how many of you have been to Europe or overseas, period, right? The food is totally different. Way less preservatives and most of the things that we have here in the States, when they go overseas, they put warnings on them so that people know. Like, because we have extraneous amounts of salts and sugars and preservatives in our food, our candies, all that stuff, right? So the food overseas is much cleaner. So it's a lot easier to quickly lose weight when you're over there. Not taking anything away from Luka, but I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Why didn't you lose the weight? Why didn't you lose the weight when the season was happening? Like that doesn't make sense. I really don't get it. But yeah, it's a little different. So I'm not giving Luka too much credit. We'll see how he does when he gets back over here and there's, McDonald's and whatever else on every corner. And because apparently he is not a dude that likes to eat healthy. Although we'll say, one thing we know about LA versus a lot of other places, because it's a city where appearance matters a lot. I remember hearing Jalen Rose talk about it. Like in New York, you can go and get street meat. In LA, you get fruits. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different culturally. So let's see. Let's go ahead.
And now we see that he's in great shape. And now he's got to say, okay, LeBron, Luka, what do we need, right? What type of player do we need? We need a center. And he's got to be athletic, right? And then we need to improve that bench, that roster, because Stephen A., Minnesota, that pick and roll play. Yeah. They said, okay, where's Luka? Come here. We're going to put you in the pick and roll. All right. And Austin Reeves. Yep. So they went at those two guys. All day. Yes. And then it cost us the series. And so we got to improve and I think get faster, longer, more athletic. Because if the West is teaching you anything with these young teams, they are athletic, they're fast. And so Rob Pelinka's got to bring in some people who could help us get better on defense and also get longer and more athletic.
I'm looking at the Los Angeles Lakers, and I got to tell you, there were times last year I looked at them. I said, they could get to the conference finals. Me too. There were other times I looked at them, and I said, they can't guard me. I mean, they don't play.
They were a bit Jekyll and Hyde, but there was a run where we really became believers.
And I thought J.J. Redick did an outstanding job. I was very proud of the job that he did. And LeBron was all-world, worthy of being an all-NBA player. You just looked at him, 22nd year in the league, 40 years of age, and ask yourself, how much longer can he do this? But he keeps one-upping you. He keeps showing you he can still do it. And major props to him. Luka's a problem. And he's a problem for two reasons, Magic. Defense. And he needs the ball. See, the greatness of Steph Curry is that Steph Curry can dribble the ball and dance on you and boogie on you and pull up from 40 1 minute. Another minute he gives you the ball, and then your head is on a swivel because where is he? Where is he? Because he's always moving. Right. Luka doesn't move. Right. So because he doesn't move, you're asking the 40-year-old LeBron James to move.
Your thoughts so far on what Stephen A. and Magic are offering in terms of how these Lakers can improve next season and what they need to do to be able to be more competitive?
Not one lie being told. Mm-hmm. One of the first elephant in the room, we literally showed the world that we were trying to address it when we made the trade for Dalton Connect to get Mark Williams out of Charlotte. And then we sent them back because they failed the physical or whatnot. So we already showed that.
The rest of the season in Charlotte? Didn't he play the rest of the season in Charlotte?
Yeah, he came back. So you're able to continue play because the trade never went through. He didn't pass the physical.
At the time of the trade, he didn't pass the physical.
Which is crazy.
For the new team, they have to accept you based off your physical. Right. You can go back to your old team and continue playing if you want to.
No, I get it, but I'm saying, what did they fail him on if he played out the rest of the season? Like,
I think he was injured. Yeah, he was injured.
Was it back? I think Snead.
Okay.
I don't know about the injury's nature, but he was out for several weeks prior to that physical that he failed. So he was out for a pretty long-term injury, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. A repetitive injury that's been reoccurring. Over the last couple of seasons, because he's missed a lot of games over the last he's been 3 years in, I believe. So he's missed quite a bit of time due to his back or his knee. It's something. I think it's his back. Thank you. It's his back. So but yeah, we already showed that hand. So obviously that's a bigger piece. Getting athletic.
I was about to say.
That's why I look at Rob. I look at Rob Pelinka more so for that.
Okay.
Because who's in the NBA Finals right now that we had who won a championship? Caruso.
Yeah.
You let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was there? KCP. You let him go. Danny Green, even though he was coming to the end of his time, but still a 3-and-D type of guy. We had speed. We had those kind of athletic wings, right? And we continuously kind of let him go. Right? So that's more of a Rob question. Like, Rob, why you keep letting go of these guys who are legit ball hawks on defense?
You're gonna hate this, but how much of that do you think was LeBron?
I don't think that's much to do with LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the main pieces have a lot to do with more LeBron. The starters, not the bench players like that. It's like he just won a championship. Like LeBron, what I've seen when he does win, he tries to run the same thing back. I've never seen him win a title and then say, screw all that. Let's change it all and let's try it again. Like he's never done that. So I wouldn't say that was more so him. I would say that's more to do with Rob and financing and paying guys and whatever deal with whatever cap space. Because at the time, we got Anthony Davis and LeBron James and they're getting paid max deals. So whatever the case may be, you let those guys walk. So
right,
yeah.
I don't think Stephen A is lying. I'm pretty sure that when they got Luka and then they went on that streak for a little while.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure like everybody in the mainstream media was showing them guys a lot of love. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, power of a horror. Yeah, Dwight Howard did say that LeBron got him up out of LA.
Yeah, started.
In fairness, Kobe got him up out of LA too, if I'm not mistaken. So
twice, bro. We don't want you. Thank you.
That's tough. Yeah. Thank you for your services.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for the title.
All right.
Yeah, be gone.
All right, let's continue with the clip from the interview.
You're asking an Austin Reeves, who wasn't accustomed to movement. That should help him. He can get better at that, but moving a bit more. You're asking guys to do things that's either not their strength or that you should be asking them to do, all because of this deficiency. So him being leaner is one thing. Being in shape obviously is important, but Magic, do you trust him not to hold the ball? Do you trust him to move instead of standing still when he doesn't have the ball?
Nope.
And do you trust him to play defense?
Nope.
Well, listen, Minnesota should answer all those questions for the Lakers, because in that series, they were just picking on Luka and Austin Reeves and also the center position, right? So the Lakers pick and roll, stand, everybody's standing, LeBron's in the corner watching Luka dance, right? And Minnesota said, oh, we know what's going to happen. So what we're going to do is take the pick and roll away from the Lakers. And once they did that, and then they picked us up, and every shot came within the last 5 seconds. As the shot clock was winding down, the Lakers took awful shots, and that put Minnesota in transition. And Julius Randle beat us up. We were not a physical team. So now Rob and JJ has got to say, okay, what type of players do we need so we can compete against the West, the best teams in the West? And for me, you got to make a deal. You got to make some deals, bring in some new players. And the thing that hurt the Lakers the most was losing KCP.
Yep.
And then we're watching the other guy for Oklahoma City right now, and Caruso.
Yes.
They were our best on-ball defenders. And I told them that. I said, listen, you can't, if you're going to lose KCP, he signed for more money, but you got to keep Caruso.
Can't lose them both.
But they assigned Taylor Horton to that $9 million instead of giving it to Caruso, and that come back to bite the Lakers. So who's going to play defense for the Lakers? And to your point, which is a great point, they got to get an offense that move everybody. That, instead of Luka just dominating the ball, hey, you can dominate some, but then LeBron James got to have it. And then who played better in that run we were talking about was special was Austin Reeves when he had the basketball.
So why do they keep saying that, like, Luka can't dominate the ball? We know that's how Luka played, and they made the choice, the concerted effort to go out and bring this guy. And this is not me taking a shot at the Lakers, but I think sometimes the Lakers are too obsessed as an organization with star power instead of winning. I think that is part of the issue, right? You look at Luka and you say, okay, this is a big name, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, this is a big name, et cetera, and this is the guy. And so instead of what was I gonna say? I'm so sorry, y'all. I lost my train of thought. I was saying you look at the guy, but I totally lost my train of thought. You guys pick that up for me.
I got you.
I picked that up for me. I lost my train.
But I'll talk last time. Steve, you got anything? I'll let you go.
Yeah. This doesn't make any sense. How you gonna sit there and give love and respect to the job that JJ Redick did, and then you're gonna sit there and talk about how the players weren't utilized properly and how the roles were not fulfilled? Like, you have players on the roster, at least put them in a position for them to make some kind of impact. So you had rebounding problems. So your solution was to take Jackson Hayes out of the lineup. The hell are you talking about? We're talking about the offense and how it lacks dynamics. What are you running in these practices? What are you running in these games that led up to the playoffs? Luka got there in February. Integrate him in March and April. He's supposed to be otherworldly. LeBron is supposed to be good off the ball, good on the ball, do this, that, and the third. Why aren't you doing anything with it? This is the team under Darvin Ham went to the Western Conference Finals.
Correct.
If anything, they're offensively have better players because they have LeBron, Luka Doncic, and a better Austin Reeves. So they have talent. Actually, the team has enough talent to get past the Timberwolves. But defensively, and they talked about JJ being a damn Socrates of basketball, he couldn't scheme up anything.
No.
And to be honest with you, it's a double whammy. It's not putting the right guys in the right positions at the right times, and then self-imploding decisions. He made those decisions in those games, or lack of decisions. When we saw it in front of our eyes, we saw him play those guys 46 minutes. In what universe do you play 40-year-old players for 46 minutes? Or Luka Doncic, you can't sprint. What are you doing? You're not even giving yourself a chance. So we're going to start this, Mr. Magic Johnson, who I respect. We're going to start this by talking about how great JJ did? No, not at all. He put his players in a bad position, and they got cooked for an entire series, a laughable series, actually.
So, Sneed, I agree with a lot of what you had to say there. But again, I think that I'm assuming that Magic is talking about the job JJ Redick did, excuse me, the entire
season.
Right. And I think he did. I got to admit, he did better than I thought. Now, as a rookie head coach, how often do you get out coached by a veteran head coach when you get into the playoffs? That happens constantly. So I think that.
Wait, Bruce, do we know if he had the conversation about getting conditioned during the season? Do we know that he mentioned it then? You wait until June or May to tell people to get into conditioning? What were you doing in March?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think the other problem is, and I've talked about this before, this new era of player, it's real hard, especially if that player is a superstar. It's really hard for that that type of player to be able to take that type of critical coaching, right? They're not built that same way. And again, we also have to keep in mind they want to, as a Laker organization, endear themselves to Luka so that he'll re-sign. Keep that in mind.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But while we got this break here, let's go ahead and welcome in Coach T from Be Ready Sports Podcast. I wanted to say what's up because unfortunately I have to now bounce. I have a dinner to be at that I'm 1 minute late, and my wife just came in to give me a look. So I hate that it's on this topic. Y'all know how much I love my Lakers. I love Magic Johnson. Sneed, bro, it was a great pleasure. Hopefully we get to do this again. You coming in on the show. Coach T, bro, I hate I missed you, bro.
Man, it's like we did a trade. It's like we did a mid-show
I was thinking that. I'm like, they're going to think this was a swap out.
We grab another one. That's right.
You can't have two Lakers to dominate the show, bro. Can't have
we
two
cannot.
No, I appreciate it, man. Continue having a great show. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, guys. Share so much, man. We appreciate you guys for being who you are and for staying with us, man. Continue watching the show. Guys, continue to be great. I'm outie.
All right. See you later, Transform. Appreciate you, bro.
What up, Coach T?
Man, I just had a rough game tonight, man. Coaching 10-year-olds tonight. Boy, they almost had my blood pressure going.
I'm coaching 9-year-olds. I can relate, bro. It's not that different. It's worse.
I'm not coaching nobody. My blood pressure is fine.
Man,
no, but we were saying though that we were talking about JJ Redick and what he was able to do and not do. Obviously, having what I believe to be a better season than I anticipated overall, but yet getting thoroughly outcoached come playoff time. So that's where we were, we were listening to Magic's commentary on First Take.
What I would say before you finish is,
I'm good.
Is Magic know this. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. Is what you're going to be remembered as for the season. Magic know this. I commend him for giving him a job well done for 50-win season. That's nothing to scoff at. Yeah,
no, it's not.
You won 50 wins, but how did you finish the season? It's like you in the same breath you have to critique how he coached in the playoffs. He did it was a horrendous job. Like he did a worse rotation than Tibbs did. Is like you can't keep, like Snead said earlier, and I said it on my podcast when I went off on them. You can't shorten your rotation the game before and then come back the very next game and then they'll make no substitutions in the fourth quarter and expect them to be successful. And then you don't play the only center that you have on the roster at all. And then you play Maxi Kleber, who hasn't played at all season in a key elimination game. That's on coaching. Like you cannot do that, and you cannot give him his flowers for that.
You know what that is, Coach T? That's panic. That's desperation. The worst attributes of a coach. Panic and desperation. You have to be the one who maintains and perseveres and holds on to the coolness of the team, right? You have to be the example of how you want your players to respond in tight situations. And he was the exact opposite. He didn't keep it cool. He panicked.
I was about to say, he doesn't strike me as that guy anyway. Like he's definitely a fiery temper guy. Definitely.
There were times that he was acting like a 10-year-old out there. You can't get mad. That's when you're in the press conference, that's their job to ask you the hard questions. That's their job. Because
he's been in the media. He knows that. And he's been on the other side of the table.
He just got off from running his mouth from saying some outrageous stuff that everybody don't like. But you're getting upset because they're giving you the same energy that you were giving players and coaches when you were in the studio. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
But he was acting. You were an NBA coach. You can't have that type of temperament. Like he has to check himself. If he wants the Lakers to be successful, he has to check himself first. I always, when I approach my coaching, when I approach a game, I always ask my parents feedback because I always want to know areas that I can improve on as a coach.
Right.
And I take the criticism along with it because my thing is, as a coach, I refuse to be outcoached by somebody else. And if I'm outcoached, I take the responsibility and I tell my players, like, that's on me. He outcoached me. I will be better.
Right.
And I ask them areas to, for me to improve because I don't have that ego. JJ has an ego. He thought he was going to come in because he does have a good basketball mind. I give him that. But he thought that because, he has a good basketball mind that he'll come in and be the next Pat Riley that everybody was, and he realized how hard it was.
Right.
And he lost his composure. But he did get him to 50 games.
He did.
The trade helped.
It did.
But for them to get past that Minnesota series, they needed the O's team before the trade. Because Anthony Davis would have gave them problems. That's my opinion on it. I think the old Lakers before the trade, because they had to stretch before things went to, pardon my language, Bruce, the shit with the injuries. They had to stretch where they were top. They were top 5 in the league defensively with Anthony Davis.
Who was in the MVP race?
Anthony
on
Davis.
the Lakers. Anthony Davis.
Start of the season, but Bruce called Bruce. They call that man street clothes, but Bruce is like he's not dependable because he's not gonna be there, and that's when the Lakers started going on a downward spiral when he started picking up injuries and all that. And I made jokes saying that his body crumbled carrying the team. That was a joke that I made, and he went to Dallas. He just couldn't take it anymore. That was on my rant when I had my rant. But other than that, like you have to. I agree on this. They have to get more athletic. They decided to pick offense over defense. But a lot of them And this is why I said Stephen A was lying. And then we'll get back to it. The reason why I say he was lying is before when the Luka trade happened, his words. I can't quote it exactly, but his words and a lot of that panel was there are going to be a liability defensively because you got 3 guys in starting lineups that can't guard anybody. That's what they were. That's was his exact words, and he said they're gonna have some great offensive games, but because they can't defend, they're not going far.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say it in those words, and then LeBron beef happened, and he crucified him. So I am not going to give him a pass on that, and for him saying that he gave them their flowers. Overall, no, he didn't. But was some of his critique warranted? Of course, it's the Lakers. They're always going to be. They're always going to be critiqued. They're always.
As they should.
They always are. They're always going to be in the news because they're Los Angeles Lakers. So,
no doubt. Let's get back to what they had to say on First Take.
In his hand. So it's going to be some decisions got to be made right here.
I'm enjoying this next question because I'm going to put you on the spot because that's what I love to do to you. I do to you.
We already know.
Publicly, right?
We already know.
Let me ask you this question, Matt Johnson. So Luka's healthy. LeBron's healthy. Lakers are the Lakers. Anthony Davis is healthy. Kyrie is healthy. In Dallas. You still comfortable with the move to unload Anthony Davis for Luka?
Well, first they got to show us, right?
Who?
Dallas.
Got it.
So listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If that boy Cooper Flag is who we think he is, and I think he's gonna be a better pro than he was in,
and I think he is too.
If you put him and Klay Thompson,
Lord,
and those 2 centers that they have,
right, right,
and Jason Kidd have them going up and down.
So I did hear that Jason Kidd somehow is still in the mix for the Knicks job. I don't know how he's even going to get to talk to them. I read that just today. I don't know how he's going to get to talk to them because, as I understood it, Dallas does not want to allow him to speak to the Knicks. So that one is interesting. But yeah, let's go back to that.
And Kyrie's at his best and not hurt. Watch out west. Watch out west.
I asked this question to you because as the mega star that you are and were as a player for the Los Angeles Lakers, you've always said this to me. When you wear the purple and gold, it's about a championship. If you're a superstar, every superstar that has shown up in the purple and gold has captured a championship.
Everyone.
So I'm looking at Dallas. I'm looking at what Ime Udoka is doing in Houston.
That's right.
I'm looking at Ant-Man knocking at the door. I'm looking at OKC here right now.
That's right.
I'm looking at all the San Antonio ain't going away. Don't let them get Giannis. With Wembanyama, don't let that happen. I'm looking at them and I'm saying it does seem a bit daunting for the Los Angeles Lakers in terms of championships. To that you say what?
All those teams you mentioned are young too. So they're not going nowhere.
Right.
With young stars. And Anthony Edwards put on a show against the Lakers.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I sat there and said, wow, it was unbelievable. And so Minnesota, if they make one trade, and I would say trade Rudy and get you somebody else, if they can upgrade on the offensive end, give Anthony some help there, oh man, Minnesota will be awesome. I love what San Antonio's building. Houston, they're like a player or 2 away. And they got great experience this year. Next year they'll be even better.
You unload Green, couple picks. You get your hands on KD. Keep the rest of the team intact with Ime Udoka coaching them.
Real quick, I love the idea of what it might be with KD in Houston. But if I'm Phoenix and I'm giving you KD, why? Especially we're both in the West. Why would I allow you to keep Sengun? There's no way I do that deal, right? Y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, you got to get a haul if you can.
Yes,
you're trying to
be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, between like him, Giannis, I mean, these guys are going to command several draft picks and today talent.
Yes,
like that's the going price. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Correct.
So they're gonna try to pull tons of value because they're upending their roster. They're upending their chance to compete. So, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I already said Phoenix is trading the wrong person. They need to get Bradley Beal out of there. That's the problem.
He's got no trade.
He's the one. He's the problem.
Agreed.
He's like that old dude that just won't go away. Like we got that problem too. We got that old dude that just won't go away and won't take a pay cut to improve the roster.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's Bradley Beal. But the funny thing you brought up KD, man. Funny thing is he showed interest in the Knicks. But one thing about the state of New York, they keep receipts. Like before they became good, he said out of his mouth he would never go there. And they kept that receipt. So they were like, no, don't. They was like, don't come over here now that we're one piece away from a championship. They told him no.
Coach, did he say why?
Who?
KD, why he said he wouldn't play for New York?
At the time back then, he would just I think he was like on the street or something. Somebody asked him, and he mentioned New York. That was like what, 3 or 4 years ago? I can't remember what he said.
I think that was around the time when he went to Brooklyn, when there was a speculation that he may go to the Knicks.
Yeah,
but he didn't say why. He just said he would never play for him.
He just said he would never play for them. I don't remember him ever saying why. But again, it was a long time ago. So, but New York keeps receipts. Number one, you told them no, you weren't gonna play there, and two, you went to their cross city rival. So they New York don't forget, and they don't forget.
Oh, wow. Okay, so real quick, Coach. I just looked this up. Kevin Durant has expressed multiple reasons over time for choosing not to play for the New York Knicks, particularly during his 2019 free agency and subsequent comments. 1, lack of cool factor in recent performance. 2, preference for Brooklyn's culture and roster. What culture does Brooklyn have anyway? 3, avoiding the savior role. See, that was dumb because I keep saying this. If you're a superstar and you go play for the Knicks and you lead them to a championship, it is going to get multiplied like, exponentially versus leading another team to a championship because it's the Knicks, a banner franchise, and it's New York City. He also cited organizational concerns and personal decision-making. So,
well, at the time they were making questionable moves. Back then they were making questionable moves. But like I said, New Yorkers, that's just New Yorkers in general. They keep receipts. They're like,
we don't play with
don't come over. Like, man, don't try to jump on the ship now.
Right.
That we're going the right way. Keep that same energy is what they're saying.
Facts.
But the rumors are the Heat are in the picture and that they
Heat,
might
San Antonio
reunite.
and Houston.
I don't want to see this happen because it's not going to fix Miami's problems if they reunite KD and Westbrook in Miami. That's not going to fix their problems.
That's not going.
I think as a matter of fact, that's going to make their problems worse. But they do need another star alongside Bam and Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
One thing they can't do is trade him.
Real quick before we get back to the comments, Sneed, we got a question on the screen for you from Autism Boy. Who's better, Durant or LeBron?
Who's better right now?
Put Sneed on the
I didn't know what the context of that question was.
All time, I mean, LeBron is clearly leaps and bounds ahead of Kevin Durant. Right now, I guess Kevin Durant's a better player. I just think because of age, I think Kevin Durant's more capable of playing a full game. LeBron really struggles at the end of games. He was almost useless in the fourth quarter of games in the playoffs. Like he just doesn't have it. It's just Father Time is winning over and over again. And KD's not that far off. Like the conversations we're having about KD looking lesser next year than he did last year, like that stuff's about to happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Can I answer it, Bruce?
Sure.
Sneak, I'm not reading on your parade, Sneak, but LeBron had the better career, but overall, KD's a better player. Hands down, more skilled. Head-to-head matchups, he busts LeBron's head every single time. He got only time he got KD was young KD in OKC. When KD figured it out, When they were head to head, matchup mono to mono, guarding each other, KD busted his head.
Right.
To me, when you're matching up against somebody and that tells you right there who's the better.
I agree.
But
You hear that, Edward?
But overall career, LeBron has the better overall career.
Oh, there's no question. No question.
Hands down. But I will take that to my grave. KD's a better player.
No doubt. All right, let's get back to Magic on
real quick.
Not
raining on your parade, Sneed. Your answer was legit, but that was just my spin on it.
Yeah, but you answered it differently than I did. It wasn't your choice. Your framing was actually different than mine. That's why I was trying to ask, like, what did he mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, in what way? You know,
the only way you can answer that if you give context, is just say overall, the overall player, overall from the whole thing. So we're talking about their whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Bron had the better career.
Right.
KD's overall the better player. He's more skilled. He's more lethal. They attack differently. Yes, I get that, but he's more dangerous with the ball in his hands. He's more feared than LeBron will. And he proved that when they went head to head.
There you go.
And as a veteran, and you also got to put context on it. LeBron, I'm not knocking, saying that I want him to have a seriously career-threatening injury, but he never had that. KD has, and he bounced back, and still very efficient.
Right.
With coming back from a torn Achilles.
Got you. All right, let's get back to finishing up Magic Johnson on First Take with some really good comments.
I like that.
And that center,
Shagun.
Oh man, is he good? I mean, I like that team, and you know the Lakers. Man, Luka got to understand this is not Dallas. To your point, Kobe, bless you.
God rest his soul.
Yes, superstar who led us. Shaq led us to championship. LeBron,
leadership.
That's right, and that's what's missing here. And so we shouldn't have to tell you to be in shape. You should have been about that, right? Especially you're a superstar. So this is going to be an important year for the Lakers, important off season for the Lakers. And we have got to get better and look at the championship. Molly, always look at the finals. It's going to tell you what you have to do in the off season. So,
hold on, I had to find that breaking spot. Go ahead, though.
No, that was a breaking spot when Magic said that about Luke. Like, come on, you cannot say that about Luka until LeBron walks away. It's not his team until LeBron walks away. You can't put that on him yet. You can't say, "Oh, all the stars came in here and won the championship." It's not his team yet. When LeBron walks away, then you can critique Luka and say, "Okay, Luka, now it's yours. Now bring us a chip."
Well, they tried to give it to him, so you know
they can't. You can't say that about Luka yet until LeBron walks away.
Okay. By the way, I think part of the reason Magic likes Sengun, I think Sengun reminds him of young Vladi when he first came over.
Sengun's a dog, man.
Yes, he is. But I think there's some clear similarities there to the way Vladi Divac used to play.
If you're Houston, I agree with what he's saying. Like if you trade him to the West, you're gonna try to gut that team more than you can because that's your competition. Mm-hmm. If you're Houston, he like in 2K, he better be untouchable. You don't trade him. You don't trade him at all.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to make any big trade if you say Sengun is untouchable because there's no way I'm giving you a big time player and I'm not getting Sengun in return for that. There's no way, not doing it.
I thought it was interesting that he said this is basically a message to Luka publicly. Mm-hmm. This is not Dallas.
Yeah.
I hope that Magic understands that you're kind of putting Luka in a place where, you know, you ever put a cat in the corner, it's going to scratch you. Mm-hmm. Like Luka doesn't seem to care. Luka's drinking beers in the locker rooms.
It was flopping before Vlade. Don't do that.
You know, like this guy, Luka, hasn't shown to give a damn about anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the season out of shape. Forget coming into the season and then getting into shape. He's out of shape in the season. He doesn't care, has not shown to care. He can't sprint. A fundamental component of basketball is explosive motion. He can't sprint. So what Magic is doing at this point in time is he's giving an ultimatum. He's saying, you need to get in line here. Magic has the cachet, Bruce. And we talked about what he's done and what he's earned.
Yes.
But and this is to Coach's point. You know, what are you saying at this moment in time? You may want to tread waters lightly.
No, but he's saying the truth.
He is saying the truth.
It's not it's not Dallas. LA don't love you like that. Like,
do you want Luka feeling like he's getting ganged up on right now? Like he's hearing it from Coach JJ Redick, he's hearing it from Magic, he's hearing it from everybody. You don't think he knows? He looks in the mirror, he sees a round face. You don't think he knows? He looks at the game film, he can't sprint back on defense.
Well, he also knows that he doesn't have to re-sign there because they can't give him the Supermax anyway, so he can just go somewhere else.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, if he's not comfortable there, he can just move on.
Could they really squander this opportunity with Luka and
wouldn't surprise me? Wouldn't surprise me.
But then
remember, even though Luka's an NBA player, he didn't grow up probably with that same reverence for the Laker brand and the the Laker name. So it may not mean as much to him to be a Laker that it does for a lot of other cats. So,
but Bruce, he can do that, but he gonna be looked at differently if he leaves.
Why?
And goes somewhere else.
Why?
He's gonna look like Kevin Durant.
But why? Right. He got traded somewhere that he didn't necessarily want to be.
But
so
Kevin
Durant makes his choices of where he's been.
You're in LA. You're in.
That doesn't mean everybody wants to be in LA.
You're just saying that because you're a Celtic guy.
No, I'm not saying that. But the assumption is that that's like me saying everybody wants to play college football for Notre Dame. As much as I want to believe that's true, that's not true.
I agree. Everybody don't want to play.
There you go. See.
I agree with that sentiment.
No, but I mean,
you're saying that from a Celtic head, but
I'm not saying that from a.
But listen, Bruce. I don't want to come on your show being disrespectful.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that as a Celtic. I'm saying that.
It's not my show. It's your show. But please listen.
Go ahead, man.
That's the look. There's 3 destinations. If you get traded for. You know what you're getting into because that fan base is intense. That's Boston, the New York, and the Lakers. You go there, you know you're getting in Philly. 4 destinations in Philly. You know those fans don't play. Like, they don't care who you are, how good you think you are. They're going to tell you how they feel. And they don't give a damn if they hurt your feelings. Those 4 destinations. Luka know what he was getting into by getting traded there. With that being said, if he walks away from that, he's gonna be looking at like a simp. Like he's running away. He's running away from the pressure. And he can't handle it. They need to go back to a small market.
Dallas is not a small market.
Go back to a small market?
He's compared to those 4 destinations, Dallas is a small market. Compared to those 4 destinations, Bruce. Don't try to twist my words. Don't do a young disciple up here.
Why you
don't try to twist my words and try to steer the conversation somewhere else. Don't try to young disciple me.
No, we needed that clarification, Coach. Go ahead.
Yeah. Compared to those 4 markets, Dallas is a small market. Compared to those are the 4 top. And Miami, I believe, is getting up there as number 5. But those are the 4 top. Those fan bases don't care about your feelings. They don't care about who you are. You have to earn their respect. They don't care what you did before you got there. They only respect you for what you do while you're wearing their uniform. That's it. That's all. So that's what he's trying to say. Like, he's not throwing shade at Luka. He's trying to let him know, like, dude, you're not in Dallas anymore. You can't come in the season out of shape and think the fans are going to accept that. I've said it. If he comes this offseason out of shape, they're going to boo him out of Staples Center. They will.
Okay.
If they did what they did to one of their own that were born and raised in LA, that was endured in Russell Westbrook, which I don't condone that at all. Luka is fair game.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go.
You don't hear it, but they don't. The Laker fans don't treat LeBron good there either.
Yeah, I know.
But you don't hear about it.
I'm okay with that.
But they talk crap to him all game long, every day, all day long. So LA fans don't care. New York fans don't care. Philly fans definitely don't care. And Boston fans are the rudest of the old bunch.
Ruthless.
They're ruthless.
There you go. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines now. We're going to take a couple calls on this, and then we'll get to the last topic, and we'll get up out of here. So, you know the number, 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264.
Man, I love calling the show, Bruce. I love calling the show. I call you from all lines, bro.
Yes, you do. You don't get to call tonight, though.
But it's a different thing when you're on, though.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been hosting live streams and podcasts for years.
Oh yeah.
I'm very comfortable in these platforms.
Absolutely.
And I love it, man.
It's good to be on. It's good to be on here with podcast vets because I'm the newbie.
You're holding it down.
I'm blessed so far.
Yeah, but I loved to hear Magic was on there and they gave 45 minutes, no commercials, uninterrupted for him and Stephen A and Molly and to just talk NBA and all that stuff. And I thought it was super cool. A lot of stuff to say. I wanted to focus more so on the segment where he was discussing the Lakers because obviously I thought that was just more pertinent right about now. And obviously I have some Laker guys who would have loved to give some commentary. Bruce, what's good, man?
Hey, how you feeling, man? Happy Father's Day belated.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Man, don't do that ever again. You'll disappear like that, man. I was one day away from coming down there. See what's going on.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for looking out for me.
No, definitely was too late call. Like, oh no, what's going on now? Something happened. I heard from you in 2 days. You usually irritate me every day. you usually try to ache my nerves every day. So that's something strange, man. Like something ain't right. You know what I mean? Hey. Magic and Leo, Magic and Leo for zodiac signs, and I'm a Leo, so when we talk, it's law. It's law when we talk. We like the alpha and the omega. We law when we talk. We split oceans and shake mountains when we speak, anytime Magic speaks is law, brother. You better believe that. When Magic say something, it's 100% correct. It's absolute law.
Okay, so let me tell you this, Brew. So everything you say is law, right? So if he gets on there and critiques LeBron, you gonna keep that same energy?
Nah.
Say what? Say it again, brother.
If he gets on there and critiques LeBron, you gonna keep that same energy?
Oh, I would love. Oh, hey, he got all the cachet to do so. All the cachet. Anybody. He the one that went to John House to get him. So
your soon-to-be podcast partner ain't gonna think so.
That's right.
Yeah, watch out for the Stupid's podcast, YD and Bruce.
Oh, I'm definitely calling in on that one.
Oh boy,
it's gonna be must-see TV.
Mm-hmm.
I need Bruce on the show at least 2 times a week, though, as a guest, though.
Oh boy, you don't need that.
I might send you a small fee, man, to check in, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send Bruce some blood pressure pills. Don't do that to Bruce.
Yeah.
I got on the side. How you doing, Mr. Sweet? Nice to finally meet you, brother.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Oh man.
Hey man, wherever that humble abode where you at looks pretty pristine,
It does.
Life, it looks like life is going well for you, brother. Everything Magic says, everything Magic said is right on point. It's nothing. I'm not here to test him. Mm-hmm. Like he said, to become a superstar, you got to. Stephen ain't play that clip when Stephen A. asked him, "What is the meaning of a superstar?" Magic said, "You got to sell out arenas at home anyway. You see, you showstop. People come to see you."
Right.
Everything he said about Luka, it was an indirect shot to Luka, respectfully. He was basically saying to Luka, man, hey. But like he said, like Dallas can be dangerous. Everything he said, I'm not here to test him. I'm just here, man, to hear the praise, the prophet on the court, one of the guards of basketball, top 5 all time, Magic.
Mm-hmm.
everything he said was lost. No detection. I'm surprised he didn't speak more on LeBron.
He's not going to do that because LeBron is a Laker. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't know. I'm pretty sure he could keep him behind closed door, but who knows? But like he said, the Lakers got to get more athletic. Yeah, that's the only thing I think. He probably needs another big, athletic big. There's some more wing defenders, and they'd be good. But everything, I'm not here to test match. Everything said is correct. It was law. You know, big Leo energy, August. You know, my birthday, August 8th. I'm a Leo, so when we speak, you know, people sit and listen. You know, like, you know what I'm saying, soldier? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, before I get off, training camp. Hey, Ravens training camp started today, man. I almost shed a tear, man, when I see all my boys at training camp. Hey,
well,
man.
All we can say is put the work in and get it done.
There you go. We ain't got long. Hey, man, I'll probably call you on the next one, brother.
No doubt, man. Thank you for the call, Bruce.
Salute, Bruce.
I was trying to keep going, but I didn't have time. He got off. He asked me a question on my show, so since I'm here, I was gonna. He wants to know why me and you, when he calls in on our shows, we always tell him to behave. So I was going to address that while he was on the phone.
What's up, Steve? What's going on, King of the Chat?
Heck no.
What up, Bruce?
What's going on, man?
Nation.
What up?
Shout out, Sneak. Good to see you on the show, bro.
Steve,
hey, man, did you take care of that leg, man?
No.
I'm getting back, bro. I'm not good no doctor, but I've been running and doing my stretching, and I'm almost back, bro. I played pickup last week.
Man,
I wasn't my regular self,
drag your ass out of there and take you to a specialist. I'm
all
gonna drag
that
you out to my house kicking and screaming, man.
Right.
I'm gonna have to fight you to get you out of there. But that's all right. I won't just go. I'll drag you out of there and take you to a specialist.
No, I ain't doing all that. But I'm good. All that blood from the tear and stuff's gone. It gets tight from time to time. But I'm all right. I'm all right.
All right. What you got, Steve?
About the topic, I don't necessarily disagree with anything Magic said. Magic's a businessman. He's a CEO. He knows how to conduct himself and portray a good message, and he's not going to undercut LA in any way.
No.
He has a slight bias, obviously. I would probably say more than a slight bias, but he's not going to undercut LA. And right now, it's not what he said, it's what he didn't say. And I feel like Stephen A. being pretty much he's got a stranglehold on sports media, trying to portray this as like, you know, Luka's out of shape, Luka doesn't play defense. I agree with those points, but it seems like we're trying to like play Luka as now the sole scapegoat when I think there's more context to this, which I don't think either of them were talking about, which is LeBron, the coaching from JJ Redick, Snead and Laker Nation both were hitting on that. I'm glad they did because I don't know, maybe I'm just a hater. I don't look at JJ as some, you know, innovative coach because when it mattered most, I would argue Darvin Ham was better in the playoffs than what we've seen from JJ. Now, granted, he's a rookie coach, but it's like some of the things that they're trying to like say about Luka, yes, it's true. But at the same time, we just saw Luka take a Dallas team to a finals. So it's not like Luka, even out of shape, and I grant they're not a good defender. I grant those points. But it's not like Luka can't lead a team to a finals. Like we just saw it. He's just a year off of it. Where I think a lot of this has to do is, like, Magic is not going to undercut LA because he's Mr. Laker. But what I think wasn't said was, well, yeah, on top of the idea that Luka's out of shape, well, LeBron is 40 years old. He's not playing full season. He's having his son drafted. He's controlling the roster. He did mention the fact that they did not re-sign Caruso or KCP, which we know how LeBron runs a team. Nothing is getting done without LeBron's approval. So ultimately, I'm sorry, that's on LeBron. The coaching decision and the lack of coaching in the playoffs, that also reflects on LeBron. You got him out so that you could bring your guy in. And it honestly got worse. It definitely didn't get any better. I mean, maybe it wasn't a sweep this year, but it's like you got a gentleman's sweep against the Minnesota team that I don't think Minnesota was even better this year compared to last year. So I don't know. It's not that I disagree with Magic, but I feel like between he and Stephen A., they're not going to address the things that I really think are at the root of the problem. I don't think LA made a mistake bringing Luka in. I don't. I think long term they thought, hey, this is a face of the league, not the face, but a face of the league.
Mm-hmm.
We can build around this guy, and if we give him the right pieces, he can lead a team to a finals. We've seen it. But
Can
it's
I,
like
Steve,
LeBron
can I ask you
there,
something?
back to Laker Nation's point, with LeBron there, you can't really hand the keys over to Luka and then in the same breath make Luka the sole scapegoat when LeBron controls the roster, LeBron is controlling the coaching position. It's just I think more of the issue is you can build around Luka long term. LeBron at 40 having this type of stranglehold over the franchise, to me, would be the real issue, which wasn't really said. So it's not that I disagree with Magic, but I think it's the things that were unsaid where I was a bit disappointed.
Steve, can I ask you a question?
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah.
I personally believe that the Lakers can't win a championship until LeBron leaves or retires.
Mm-hmm.
The way that their roster is currently constructed and the changes that have to occur in order for them to build around Luka. Do you agree or disagree with that sentiment?
I very much agree with that. And I'm not guaranteeing, that's not me guaranteeing that, LeBron's gone, they're going to win it with Luka. I'm just saying with LeBron there, kind of highlight what you're saying, it's not going to happen with LeBron and Luka. So if Luka is your long-term investment, and I would agree, he's got to get in better shape. He's got to try harder on defense. I agree with all of that. But we're not talking about a guy that didn't just take a Dallas team and took them to a finals. Yes, Kyrie was on that team, but Luka got through the West, the same Luka we're seeing in LA. So that's where I'm kind of thinking, like, I agree Luka has his flaws, but why are we like making him the scapegoat right now when it's like the elephant in the room is LeBron is 40 and he has way too much authority over that franchise.
All right.
And JJ sucks as a coach.
How are you going to truly? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Steve, I'm not trying to cut you off, but two things that I'm going to say. First, you can compare Darvin Ham's to JJ Redick because Darvin Ham, that was his first coaching job. He took a play-in team to the Western Conference Finals. So you can compare the two.
Yeah.
And you can compare their sophomore seasons too. So, and this is coming up on his sophomore season. So you can compare those two.
I would agree.
Two, to your second point, yeah. I can't believe you're making me say this, but you can't put all the blame on LeBron James. That responsibility goes on the Lakers organization. If you're going to give a player that much pull, that's on you.
That's true.
So the inmates are only going to do what you allow them to do.
And I think that's why Magic didn't say those things, because he knows LA has pretty much given LeBron the keys. So it's like being an LA guy, he does not want to undermine his team because he is Mr. Laker. But that's why I think he didn't address those things, which it seems like it's fair game to address Luka. And I do think that's fair game. But it's like, well, if we're going to address the flaws with Luka's game, well, it is still LeBron's team, and and LA did give him all the authority for that roster, for the head coaching situation. I mean, we've even seen his kid get drafted there. So it's like LeBron, to me, right now, I would, if I were a Lakers fan, which I'm not, but if I was a Lakers fan, it's like I would want to keep Luka long term, and I would not want this 40-year-old guy in this leverage he has on the franchise. I would not want this to get in the way of us long term being able to hold on to Luka. That's how I see it. Now, granted, that's not to take away any of Luka's flaws, because I do agree with those points. He does need to be in shape. There's things he can do better. Agreed. But this is still a guy that you would probably, I would assume most Laker fans like, well, if we have the option to keep Luka long term or cut ways with LeBron at 40, I think the decision would be very easy. I'd say, well, we're going to keep Luka. If Luka had never taken a team to the finals and he was just some first round and out guy, like then I would think of this differently. But Luka has proven in the same conference that he can lead a team to a finals, even with the deficiencies he had. Now, that team was constructed a bit differently where he was able to be Luka fully. So if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm thinking, well, why aren't we going to let Luka be Luka here if he's shown he can do it with Dallas? But it seems like the issue is you can't fully do that with LeBron still in town.
Well,
and frankly, with Redick,
Dallas, he had Kyrie, so we always tend
Agreed.
to get that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But if you got rid of LeBron, it's not like you don't have Reeves, you don't have some team, and you would free up to be able to go get guys to surround.
Reeves is good as gone.
We'll find out. But hey, Steve, we gotta let you go, man. I gotta move on to the final topic, bro.
Right
I
on.
appreciate
Right
your
on.
call, man.
Thanks, Steve.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Steve.
Oh, no, I was going to say, be easy on my girl now.
No, you're good, man. We know you'll enjoy it.
All right, hey, all right, fellas, don't stay blessed.
All right, Steve, thanks for the call, brother.
I know this is not my show, so I'm apologizing beforehand, but the Universe Galaxy, no, the Michael Jordan fans aren't the worst because they're addressing the nonsense that started with LeBron fans. So because you guys don't like what they're saying, which is the truth, you want to label them as the worst fans. No, LeBron sexuals are the worst fan base out there. And
I wasn't even going to do it.
And that is law.
All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and
that doesn't need to be a topic because I wouldn't even make that a topic on my show. That's not a topic.
All right, let's get to the final topic of the night. Okay, Caitlin Clark is back in the WNBA, and some of you all saw in the chat. Apparently, it's getting a bit chippy in the game they're playing right now. Wasn't aware of that. Let's check real quick. What's this?
Oh, that's the Brittany Griner. That's the
No, Brittany Griner is in Atlanta now. She doesn't play for Phoenix. Doesn't have anybody anymore. Brittany Griner retired, and Brittany Griner went to Atlanta.
Grinding Griner.
Stop. We're not doing that. Be respectful. So she went to Atlanta, and Diana Taurasi retired. So their two big guns are gone, and that's a tough one.
Shit.
Caitlin Clark shoved to ground as tempers rise between Fever and his son. Well, hey, that's how it goes. that's it's a physical sport. All right, so Caitlin Clark missed about 3 weeks, right? 5 games in the WNBA is about 3 weeks. And we saw her come back on Sunday. Is it Sunday? And she say again?
I was there to a sellout crowd.
Yes, a sellout crowd. Well, we know that she sells out crowds, right? Transformer and I, we did a segment a while ago, a couple episodes back, talking about the economic impact that she's had on the WNBA, as well as the impact that has been had in the league in her absence, right? And so
man, that
crazy drop off, right?
58%.
That's insane, right?
Player is 58 takes 58% of your fans for your whole league.
That's a lot.
That is insane.
Yeah, but that also says, in fairness, that a lot of those people aren't basketball fans; they're Caitlin Clark fans, right? Which, okay, that's fine. A lot of people are casual fans, and that's what leagues market to, right? Casual fans spend money. It's the hardcore fans that really are really like into the weeds and into the nuance. So, Kate, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I read it and I just shook my head like
I'm not even going to do it. Just leave it alone.
My point went over his head.
We're not doing that. Okay, so
taking it personal.
Okay, so we're not doing that. All right, so Caitlin Clark comes back in a game against the undefeated New York Liberty, the defending champion New York Liberty, and we saw her have a great one. I think 32, 8, and 9. She is, in my opinion, probably the best outlet passer in the league. And it is funny though, like some of the stuff she does extremely well, like defensively, they just continue to let her get to it, right? Like that one-handed bounce pass, she always does that going right. And we see her here with the was at the 9 points in about 37 seconds or 40 seconds. And she was just bombing away. It was crazy what she was doing out there. 6 threes in the first half, finishes with 32. A much quieter second half, but, she was able to kind of do what she had to do to help to set the tone. And her team had a huge upset, right? But here's the crazy thing, though, right? So she comes back from the 5-game injury absence, and that was ESPN's third most watched WNBA game ever on ABC. Like, she continues to play a huge role in this topic. She continues to play a huge role in the growth of the WNBA economically. I think she's directly involved in like $800 million of revenue growth. Like it's crazy what she's doing. This says the Fever's win against the defending WA champions drew an average of 2.2 million viewers with a peak of 2.8 million. That average was up a whopping 76% over last season's average audience for WNBA games on ABC. Like she's just an incredible needle mover, excuse me. And although I still don't see her as a top 5 player in the league, she still is, one of the most exciting, right? Like, for instance, we can look at Paige Beckers, right? Paige Beckers is a rookie and she's out there killing. Granted, bad team, but she's averaging 17 points, 4.4 rebounds, 6.1 assists, shooting 47% from the floor and 42% from three, 82% from the stripe. Like, and here's the big one. She's not turning the ball over like Caitlin Clark turns the ball over. She's averaging 2.3 turnovers. Like, that is super impressive. Now, I think as good as she is, a lot of that comes from, playing in a more disciplined system under a taskmaster coach in college with Gino Auriemma, right? Arguably, I don't think it's arguable. I think the greatest women's college basketball coach of all time. And so he taught her to, quote unquote, play the right way, right? She didn't have the offensive freedom that Caitlin Clark had, but as a result, really learned how to play at an extremely high level. So she's doing her thing, but she's not getting the same shine as Caitlin Clark. Why? Caitlin Clark, as we just saw, the way she comes across half court and pulls up those logo threes is such an exciting, dynamic brand of basketball. That's what people want to see, right? You guys' thoughts on Caitlin Clark and, what it says now that she's back. And I guess my bigger question is, even with what we saw and the ratings boost and all that, how do you think the other players in the W should feel about her? Where are you with that? Because that, I guess, is the biggest thing.
I'm gonna quote one of my guests. That shout out to my man Deuce, who said they hate that people are coming to see one person. That they're not coming to see everyone else. Like, it's crazy that one person controls more than half of the whole fan base for your league.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control who fans want to get behind.
That's true.
Yeah, it's never going to be the best basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be the one that makes sense. It's not going to be the one that deserves it. It's always the one that we all look at, true basketball fans, like, why? Like, you don't make good basketball decisions. Even when they go in shooting a 94 foot. Well, not I said 94 foot shot.
right.
But shooting it from the logo is not a good shot. It's a heat check. It's not a good shot. Even when Steph Curry does it, from a basketball standpoint, even casual fans don't understand this, but Snead understands where I'm going with this. From a true basketball standpoint, even when it goes in, it's not a good shot. Never has been and never will be. But it's cool to watch because not everybody can do it. So it's cool to watch. And so that's what they want to do. They want to get behind that. They want to get behind that nonsense. But true basketball head want to see true basketball. And the ones that should, like the Asia Wilsons, best player in the league, hands down.
Hands down.
Not getting the respect that she deserves.
Well, is she not though? Is she not? She gets the respect from real basketball people.
Everybody that I know says that she's the best player in the league.
She's the best women's player in the world.
Yeah, like that's all I hear. So to me, anybody who says otherwise just seems a little bit minority in their take.
She's not getting the coverage.
Oh,
okay, that's fair.
She's not getting the coverage from
those two. Yeah, those two things don't guarantee. Like it's so Caitlin Clark. The part of her that's needs to catch up. It's not the stardom. The stardom is there.
Yeah,
it's the winning. The winning has to catch up. Right. That's the next piece that comes with this locomotion.
And take care of that basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
It's just funny. Like if you like a player, you ignore the flaws
until it's the reason they lose.
When they're right there in your face.
Until they lose because of it. Then it's like, how do we miss all this?
No, they ignore that too. It's everybody else's fault. why they turn the ball over.
Well, there are
Caitlin Clark fans do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
That's true.
But you got to remember, Caitlin Clark attracts a wide breadth of individuals that will watch the game that isn't necessarily astute to the actual game. So when they see a turnover, they're like, why didn't they catch that? It touched their fingers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She threw some crazy pass at the wrong time. And,
Well, she threw a behind the back pass. You should have caught it. You should have saw it coming.
No, I mean, she's a great passer, and she's an outstanding player.
Yeah, but with those chances, Bruce, comes turnovers. That's part of the territory, right?
Yeah. No question.
You just described a player in Paige Becker who literally you could see like the quality of possession. She values the possession of the ball, right? Like we possess the ball because there's only a certain amount of opportunities.
Correct.
This is one of the things that's a huge disconnect between basketball fans and NFL fans, right? NFL fans value possession.
That's so true.
And the NBA, it's like we'll just get back and get a bucket. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's so different.
I'll put it like this: the casual, in all sports, you attract two type fans: the legit fans that legit know the sport, and the casual fans that can care less. They just want to be entertained. That's why guys like Art Monk, like you guys talked about, gets undervalued because they play the game the right way, and they love guys like Megatron, who comes out here, makes a great catch over two defenders, but is less efficient at his position than Art Monk. They love that, and they will say
everybody loves the sizzle, not necessarily always the steak. That's what it is.
He's better than a guy like Art Monk. It's kind of like that with CC. It's great to have her there because got people tuning into your sport, but
that's correct.
I just don't like how the dub, I call it the drama league, is.
I don't think it's any more dramatic. Honestly, in fairness, I don't think it's any more dramatic than the NBA. I think we just think of it that way because it's women. Honestly,
they're trying to model the W after the league.
I'm trying to tell you,
they're trying to model it that way.
The NBA got a lot of drama too for no reason. Yeah, I think we tend to look at it that way because it's women.
It's off the court stuff. That it's stupid things that they're doing off the court. The dub drama is them. You see it in there in plain sight, taking shots at this girl because they don't like that everybody's paying to see her and not them. And they're glazing it over by saying, "Oh, it's just we showing her tough love. It's a professional league. We're bringing her into the game." When it's blatant in our face what they're doing,
right?
And to prove that point was Brandon Grinder on the sideline.
Man, you're gonna stop that, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Like that effing white girl is the fact that they don't like that people are tuning in to see her and not them. When they've been and I can get where they're coming from because they've been putting in the work in the league for this many years, for so long, and they weren't getting this coverage until she came in. So it's kind of, it's not race or none of that crap that everybody was trying to spin. It's that people are tuning in to see that one person, and the vets that's been there can't take it.
I get it, but
when they should embrace it.
Yeah, I get that. But I made the analogy when I first started talking about this topic. At the end of the day, it's just like Kareem was in the NBA, and Bill Walton was in the NBA, and so many great players in the 70s, right? And then Magic and Bird came along, and the NBA got strapped on their back. Does that mean the players that were there before weren't good? No, it just means sometimes things need a catalyst. Like, that's life. That's life. So instead of, like, I can understand the frustration, but instead of getting upset, roll with it. And now you're getting the attention too. And let's get it. You're getting the attention. The money's about to change. Just do it, man. That's all there is to it.
I'm just going to point this out, Bruce, because to your point, when you're saying when you said that, I'm saying this because there is women. There's some truth to that, and I'm gonna prove it why. When Magic Bird came in and changed the game, and everybody start tuning in to watch them in their rivalry. The guys in the league didn't take shots at them. I wasn't alive there to watch it in person, but they didn't take shots at them like the dub is about with CC. When Jordan came in and he took it to another level and brought fans into the NBA, the players weren't going at him like that. Sure, you have people that say, "Oh, he ain't gonna win a championship." No, that criticism is, is okay, but they weren't out there literally trying to kill this man. I know it was physical and all that back then. Yeah, they were just trying to beat him because they had no other way to beat him, but they weren't trying to kill this man because he was drawing in the numbers. The dub in the league promoted him as, the savior. The dub,
I disagree.
The dub is not,
Not what?
Capitalizing and
That's ridiculous. What more can they do?
Their league.
What more can they do? Every single Fever game is nationally televised this year. What else can they do? They're selling the jerseys.
Are they the only team that has that?
Not what they're not doing is using that capitalism to expand their league and promote her and the other stars that they have, like Asia Wilson and all them behind it. That's what they're not doing.
Yeah, but she's always playing. She's always playing someone. If she's always playing these other teams, they're gonna get exposure. They're gonna play against her.
Yes. When the Fever come to town, you see, because the WNBA teams play in smaller venues. When the Fever come to town, normally they sell those out and they have to get moved to a larger venue. Like this is bringing more money to everybody.
Only her.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the money is coming and that's going to help everybody.
Because you want the object of the thing is to sell out all your arenas.
Okay, but that's not going to happen right now. So what you got to do is you just take advantage of what is happening right now.
Stars, so people will come see them. You got a new audience.
What are you talking about? You see Asia Wilson commercials every time you turn around.
Hold on.
What are you talking about?
Coach T, are there some?
What are you talking about?
Coach T, are there some WNBA fans who are not WNBA fans, but they're just CC fans?
Yes, tons.
Are you gonna be able to get through to them to go and watch?
No,
someone else on their own time. You might not get through. You probably won't get through. They're there for one person.
Yes. So take their money and enjoy it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's gonna help the league overall. But yeah, we'll leave it.
But there's a couple calls in. I'm just putting it like this. This is the way the two leagues are marketed. There is a reason why one league you have one guy at the top, but everybody comes to see everyone else. Versus the other league when you have talented players, but they only coming to see one.
That's gonna happen. That's gonna get fixed over time. It will. Especially when Juju comes, you'll see.
Yeah, they got to start doing it now.
The NBA is 50 years in.
That's what I'm saying.
The NBA is 50 years in with stars. 50.
Yes, right.
It's not all, but look, that's where they're at now. When they were babies, infancy, in their infancy, when Magic and Bird came in, yes, they had their campaigns with them. They brought in their rivalry into the NBA, and they made it what it was. I wasn't alive then, but I'm just speaking on the things that the research that I have and the words that were spoken from the players that were around. And I can't say that I saw when they came in the league because I wasn't alive then. They came in 79. I was born in 79. But the league but the league capitalized on that while they were still promoting the Dr. J's and everybody else, everyone else that's there. The what I feel like I'm ahead of my time with this because no one is understanding where I'm going with this. You got their league has professional women's league. They got stars across. That's got stars across the board. And Asia Wilson's your best player.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta. The marketing has to be better. You got to draw them you got to draw an audience to see them. You have to figure it out as a league.
You can't make them. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You cannot make people do it. Every time you turn around, there's an Asia Wilson commercial. You can't make people pay. You can't make. All right, you got it. You got it. But we'll go ahead and we'll leave it right there. Looks like we're not gonna get any calls on this topic. So we're gonna wrap it up tonight. Thank you, Coach T, Laker Nation.
That's because we didn't go in. We didn't start drama on here. That's why.
Right.
People in the chat trying to bait. Want to talk about? I don't waste my time debating fools.
Thank you, Sneed, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Up for me tonight and being here, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Laker Nation. Everybody who's in the chat, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way out.
Watch somebody going to call as soon as you say
Transform and I'll be back. Yeah, right. Transform and I'll be back tomorrow. And we're going to leave it right there. And we out. Peace.
Peace.
Hurry up for that phone ring.